start recording, and now do start recording. So we've got the actual file as a backup. I mean, we've got it on YouTube anyways, but all right, let's make sure this is working. Bum, ba-dum, bum. Oh yeah, it says live stream. All right, let me. We got 8 views on that 46-second clip. What the heck is that? Oh yeah, we're live. What the hell is this? Somebody getting shot? Tweeted it out. I don't know who's watching. Hello. We're live. Oh, somebody's in the chat. Look who it is. Christian, A&E Productions. What's up? What's up, everybody? We're just hanging out for a little bit here before we kick off here in the next few minutes. Thank y'all for jumping in right off the jump, the thing. All right. Let me retweet it. Go up here.
Because we couldn't get the shot because it just
We got 5 people
already. Stream mode.
Don't freak out about it. Anti-divs. I'm gonna turn Wi-Fi off.
Oh, you can also just see it up here.
That's probably what we were looking at before.
Yeah, because that's up there the whole time.
Cool.
All right, we'll give it another couple minutes.
Give it a couple minutes or so. Thank y'all for being here early and on time.
Oh God, does it smell like smoke to you? From the fireside chat.
It smells like a fireside chat.
Oh, we lost somebody.
The snozberries taste like snozberries. Here. These. Here. Back up to 5. 100 episodes, 500 subs.
Good.
Thanks, Christian.
Test.
It is
All right,
crazy.
good. What's that?
It's Dyke saying something. Tell him to get off the Xbox.
I can't chat on the Xbox X, so I have to have it up twice.
Hey, it helps our numbers, Jason. We don't care. Thank you.
Yeah, we'll take the double viewers. Oops.
What are you doing?
In this bowl. Just give the keyboard back.
You want your keyboard back? Why are you holding the microphone like you're talking on the phone instead of just putting it down? Just remember, guys, we got like a 20 or 30 second delay. In case you type anything, we won't. You'll be 20 seconds behind us, 30 seconds, or we'll be behind you. I don't know what we'll be. We'll be something. God, it smells so good.
It's gonna get too hot.
It's already hot. I'm already hot. This is why I'm hot.
All right, we're at 7:06.
You want to
Go
kick
ahead
it
and
off?
Get started.
Let's do it. I love the smell. It smells good.
No,
Did you put it on Facebook? Should I put it on Facebook?
you could.
Let's put it on Facebook.
Hey, for everybody in the chat, how are we looking? Are we good? We got yellow stream health here on our side instead of green. I always freak out about it. Are we good? Or are we choppy? Christian, A&E, anybody else in the chat?
No, that feels absolutely perfect.
Hey, James is here. Jason says we're not choppy at all. Good. Clear my end. And he has crappy Wi-Fi, so that's good. All right, so we're good. Won't
James,
stress out about it.
I'm proud of you. Very proud of you. Good job. He knows what I'm talking about. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Anti-dibs.
You can't. You can't.
All right, everybody says we're clear. That's good.
All right. Let me post this. We'll be good to go.
These lights, I just kind of put the lights up arbitrarily
They're fine. Just don't look into them because then you'll be blinded.
by the light.
Blinded by the light. See, this is what happens when you get in the chat early. All right. Update status.
Slice of real life here, folks.
I'm guessing that Mega Fan Logan will not be joining us because that dude's got to be exhausted after Extra Life.
I bet.
Turn that. I'm so OCD. Turn so that's in the back. There you go.
I think he'll show up. I have faith.
All right.
What is that?
What?
I need to turn those notifications off. They're going to drive me nuts. Can you say hi to Casey?
Oh,
Are they watching?
Casey.
Hi, Casey.
I love you, bud.
Oh, Casey. Aw. Hi,
I
Casey.
didn't get the text. What's it say?
Hi, Casey.
Hi, Casey. I love you, bud. Nick's here.
What up, Nick?
Why am I? I have no snare in my headphones. There, it just came in. Oh, Casey's waved you guys. My sweet boy. Ah. Good job, Casey. All right, you ready to kick it off?
Yeah.
All right. Come on. Shout out to Murphy. Oh, where's my
I'm not liking this.
What?
I feel
Stop looking at the if you don't look
No,
at the mantle, everything looks fine.
I don't know.
I will give you one more chance to adjust it if you want to.
I think I need it to point.
OCD runs in this family, guys. Now you got to wait for it to catch up. Or you could just open up the OBS menu. Window, whatever it's
fine,
called.
I'm already here. That's it. I'm done.
Good enough. It's going well, Nick. How are you doing, sir? All right, ready to kick it off?
Yeah, we're good. Bam. Now we're perfect. Because I'm looking at that divider on the built-in. And they're...
The divider on. Oh, you were looking more at the sides, not the levelness.
Right. I mean, it's that too, but
Yeah.
that's fine.
Snozzberries taste like snozzberries.
I can't get over the smokiness smell of my microphone.
Oh.
Up close and personal.
Yeah, just remember you guys are like 30 seconds behind us, so.
And the microphone smells like a
Beer.
smoky fire.
All right, ready?
It's a pretty
3.
good crowd for a Sunday. Yeah, we can go.
I'm not going to sing it. 3, 2. Hey, yo, what's up, everybody, and welcome to episode 100 of the Two Player Co-op podcast. As always, I'm one of your hosts here, Kevin, along with my brother from my mother, Sean.
How we doing?
Fantastic. What's up to everybody in the chat?
Thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much.
Hey, here's to episode 100.
Yeah, I mean,
never thought we'd make it. I didn't think
No.
we'd make it to 50.
we didn't think we'd make it to 5.
Cheers to all you out there.
Cheers. That's the only reason we're here is all you, so
Cheers to
slancha.
100. Cheers to 500 subs. Thank you, obviously, to all our subs, and if any of the late subs that helped us get to 500 are here, thanks to you as well. Thanks to everybody. Glad to be here. Episode 100. How we doing?
Pretty good. Sunday night, if you're not watching this live, we're recording on a Sunday night here at the White Residence of the Sean variation. Had a good weekend.
Oh, this is not.
What? Don't just let the OCD go, man. What?
I don't know. I don't like this. I'm not centered, and it's bothering me. The table's centered on that. Why does it look...
Are you looking at my head compared to your head?
No, look at the table on the shot. Look at the table compared to the fireplace. But the table's centered on the fireplace here. Whatever. That's fine. We'll never get through this.
So anyways,
That's fine.
episode 100. Sean,
Yes, sir.
before we get into everything else. Oh, yeah, first off, just before I forget, like Sean said, shout out to the 500 subs. Thank you all so much for getting us there. No, he's not, Jason. I'm not going to let him
I'm
spend all
done.
night being
I'm done.
OCD.
No more.
You should just move the camera out of there so you can't even see it.
That's fine.
Sean broke my heart and went to go see Thor.
Yes.
And he hasn't told me anything about it because he knows Batman vs. Superman is a better movie. So I'm going to get his thoughts right now. Sean, you saw Thor.
I did.
And
I enjoyed the crap out of it. I'm torn because, to me, I would say, it's funny because I was going to say this and you asked me yesterday and I refused to give an answer. It is top 5, but probably number 5 Marvel movie. In some order, it's probably Civil War, Winter Soldier,
Avengers.
Guardians, Spider-Man. Oh God, Avengers is
No,
up
see,
there
I don't
too.
think it's top 5. That's what I'm saying.
I don't. It was really good, and I just don't really care that much about Thor. Well, here's, I guess, the
Yes,
best way
he does
I can
know that, Nick. He's just lying to himself.
The best way that I can think to put it is that it was a very, very fun movie. And I'm not trying to say it wasn't good in saying that it was fun, but
Was it
just
inconsequential?
I don't think so. No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I just didn't care. Like, I think I saw the first one, didn't really, I mean, it was okay. I just didn't really care. I never saw the second one. I saw like bits and pieces of it when I would like stumble across it on TV. But this was just fun.
Which is what a lot of people are saying about Justice League. Full reviews come out in a couple of days, but right now everybody's saying flawed but very fun movie, better than Batman vs. Superman. I don't know how that's possible.
Here's the thing. I know it's a small sample size, and I know you're going to hate on me for saying this. Marvel has it down pat in terms of
Of making the same movie every time they make a Marvel movie.
in terms of the comedic aspect of it. There were several times where I wasn't like guffawing and doubled over in laughter, but like genuine laughter from this movie. Just stupid little thing, but like it just seems like they've got it right, and it seems like DC, and I'm thinking Wonder Woman was better. Maybe I'm just messed up because I'm purely thinking about Batman versus Superman, which is an okay movie.
Well, and you could lump Man of Steel in there too. It was a great movie.
But
there was
Man
no
of Steel,
humor.
there was no humor.
None.
Batman versus Superman, it all just seemed very forced.
Sure with you.
Wonder Woman, the stuff with Wonder Woman, like that came off flawlessly, I think.
Yeah, and
so I'll backtrack a little
Chris
bit.
Pine's
Maybe
secretary or whatever,
right.
all the interactions with
that
her. Yeah.
that all worked well. So maybe I am just basing it too much on Batman versus Superman. But wow, really? 80% of the movie's dialogue was ad-libbed. That's crazy.
Nick's in the chat talking smack, saying DC wishes they can make the same movie over and over again. I would argue a lot of people would say
Here's
they
the
have,
thing.
and they're just making crappy movies over and over again.
You'll never admit it. Well, you'll never get to admit it because you'll never see Thor.
No. I just don't care. It's the two
No, but
least, other than Hawkeye,
I
the
know.
two least interesting
I know.
characters in all of Marvel. It's just...
And that's why I never cared about a Thor movie until now.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. I still don't care. I mean, I found myself caring more as the movie went on, but still, it was just a really good movie. I'm going to guess, and I'm not even talking about critics, whatever. I'm going to... As much as I want Justice League to be good and be very, very good,
It won't be rated as
I
high.
wouldn't be surprised if Thor is a better movie.
I don't doubt that. Just because everybody's
And I'm
drinking,
not saying critics
they're all
score.
drinking the
I'm not saying
Kool-Aid.
Rotten Tomato. I'm just saying for me personally, and probably a majority of people. But I don't know. I was pleasantly surprised. That being said, yesterday morning.
James does say that they made him interesting in this movie, maybe, but
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know. I'm just
Well,
bitter.
the
I'm very
dynamic
bitter.
with like Hulk and Thor was awesome. Like he was Hulk for, well, I guess for the time he's in it. He's probably Hulk 60-40 compared to Banner. But like they actually make Hulk entertaining now. Like he talks like he, like obviously very, very broken English.
Hulk
like,
smash.
Right, that kind of stuff. But like the dynamic that it just worked. I don't know. It was a lot of fun. But so yesterday morning, just because I woke up early and there was nothing on TV, I fired up Civil War on Netflix. That is probably my favorite Marvel movie.
Better than Winter Soldier?
I like
Spidey?
it. I like it better than Winter Soldier. Spider-Man, I'd have to see again.
I think
Because
Civil War is
watching
3 for
Civil
me.
War again, when I saw Tom Holland, I'm like, oh God, I forgot how perfect he is as Spider-Man. I don't know.
I think
If gun to my head, I'll say Civil War is probably my favorite.
I'd say Winter Soldier, then Spidey, then probably the Avengers, and then Civil War. And Civil War, it is the same movie as Batman versus Superman, just with some jokes.
They did it a lot better.
I mean, that's your opinion.
It's a lot of people's opinion.
It's not a fact, though. It's an opinion. Oh, the other thing I wanted to ask, how was the Goldblum in it?
Oh, that was the other thing. I didn't really care for it going into it. I'm like, why? That just seems weird.
Why is he in it?
I wouldn't say he stole the show, but every scene he was perfect. He was peak Goldblum. Like, it was, I didn't think it was going to work. His character in the grand scheme of things is kind of inconsequential. I wouldn't
Right.
say he was only there for comedic relief. I mean, his character needed to be in it, but knowing nothing about the character before and still not really knowing much about him, I thought Goldblum was an odd casting choice, but he killed it. He was basically in Malcolm. He was normal. He was just Jeff Goldblum. Like,
Well, there's a theory out there that Jurassic Park and Independence Day take place in the same universe, and that he is the same person, just going like under an alias or something like that. Because he says, "You must go faster, like certain things like that. Like it's just because he's Goldblum in every movie that he's in.
Exactly.
That's why. But it's out there. All right. Well,
No, he
whatever.
was awesome.
I'm happy for you and happy for all the Marvel fans. You got your stupid movie that's good and whatever. We're now just 5 days away from Justice League.
Yep.
I'm not as nervous as I was. I'm not looking forward to it as much as I was Batman vs. Superman, though. I still say that. Even though this is looking like it's going to be a better movie, Batman vs. Superman, no matter how it ended up, was my most anticipated movie of all time.
Now-
and I still say it had the best movie trailer I've ever seen. That first one at Comic-Con in 15, where the first one where you see Bruce
Running
into the
yeah.
rubble and the way the music swells and everything, I was in tears watching it. Not joking at all. The movie didn't live up to that trailer.
Are you less? What was the word used? Excited, whatever.
Whatever, yeah.
About this because you're keeping those in check, or just genuinely, you're excited, but it'll never reach Batman versus.
It'll
Superman?
never reach Batman fighting Superman and not knowing
Okay.
how it's going to go. And this is still like Steppenwolf's going to invade. They're going to beat him. Superman's going to come back. Aquaman's going to be awesome. Flash is going to be awesome. And hopefully Affleck isn't done playing Batman.
Well, hopefully Gal isn't done playing Wonder Woman.
That
either.
won't happen.
I don't think so either. But
That won't happen. So I'm excited. We'll have our review up for that. It might not be till Friday or early Saturday. I'm not sure when we're going to get to go yet. But we'll have a review up for Justice League because that is deserving of a 2-player co-op review, and Thor is not.
well, Thor would be if both of us saw it. But
Nope. I'm going to be that guy. The other thing I just want to touch on real quick, I don't really know how I feel about this. A new Star Wars trilogy was announced that will have nothing to do with the Skywalkers. They're also going to be doing a live action, it's not a cartoon, a live action TV Star Wars show on Disney's streaming service. I think you can have too much of a good thing.
I think we're there. That's the
We
other
still
thing. I
shouldn't
just
be
feel
getting we shouldn't be getting the Han Solo movie. I do not care anything.
No.
Donald Glover is going to be awesome as Lando.
Yeah.
The only reason I care about that movie at all is to see him play Lando because it will be awesome. But I would rather have a Lando movie than a Han Solo movie.
The only thing,
Love
I
you too,
agree.
Nick. We'll see you, man.
I think we've reached the saturation point with Star Wars. Like, just the
And James
original was
agrees with
great.
me.
The next trilogy, not so much. And now it's like, okay, let's try it again. And now they've got it. Now they're like, oh, okay, well, let's do as much of it as we can.
The only thing I'll
I'm
say,
glad that the show is live action and not cartoon. But at the same time, like, I enjoy, obviously, basically everything about the MCU. I think I've seen every movie. Well, I guess I never saw Incredible Hulk, which technically was. And I also
so dumb that that's in the universe. That's dumb.
And then I also didn't see Ant-Man, which I want to. I just haven't yet. And I've heard it's good. But I just can't. I don't care about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. or Agent Carter or Luke Cage, or I don't care about any of the shows, and I don't know why.
Oh, yeah, I know.
I just don't. But I think that's just something about TV. I mean,
It's
like
like- well,
even
it's
like
like
Gotham.
I
I feel like I would probably love Gotham,
Yeah,
but
I
now I'm
tried
so far
watching
behind, I just can't.
I watched, when it first started, I watched like the first 3 or 4 episodes, and I was like, it feels like they're just going to shoehorn everything in here, and I feel like they have. I know
Yeah.
Jerome was awesome as Joker, and he did the whole cut your face, the face cut off. He didn't cut his face off like Joker did in the comics, but his face got cut off, and they showed that on Fox. I don't know how they do that on basic cable, but it looks good and everything, but it's just like, it's just forced, you know?
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, again, it's
And I love-
basically it's DC following in Marvel's footsteps by, hey, let's go ahead and go from the film universe into the television.
but then you got Arrow and Flash and stuff, and I love DC, but I don't watch those shows. Arrow's
Those are
supposed
other
to be
ones that are
good.
supposed to be fantastic, and I just don't. Same thing with Daredevil on Netflix. Everybody loves it. I just
I
don't
never
care.
watched
I can't
Daredevil.
bring myself to watch. I actually did watch one episode of it. Didn't hook me, and then that was it. I moved on.
Agreed.
Jessica Jones, yeah, that's the other one. Iron Fist. I just kind of, yeah, I don't care. Well, here we're talking about superheroes again, but Star Wars. I don't think I'm gonna care about.
Oh, yeah,
a
I forgot
TV
we were
show.
talking about Star Wars.
I don't think I'm gonna care. I'm more excited about a new trilogy than I am the TV show, but
But I'm excited.
But
I
I
guess.
I
but
don't
I'm like,
need it.
I don't know.
Yeah, it just seems
don't know.
like. I don't know. We don't even know like the timeline, like where. I know it's none of the characters we know. but
No,
is
we
it-
have no idea.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe it'll be good, but Episode 7 was fantastic. Rogue One was fantastic.
Rogue
Episode
One had
8,
no Skywalkers.
I had to do one of these
Yeah.
during the trailer, during Thor, but I'm sure it'll be good. I don't care about Han Solo. And now that I don't care about I never really cared about the Han Solo movie. I'm equally like don't care about this new trilogy. Even though these other the last 3 have been fantastic, I'm thinking I don't care about Han Solo, and that's how I feel like I'm going to feel about the new trilogy, and even more so the TV show.
The only thing I'll say is that if they're putting Ryan Johnson in charge of this whole new trilogy, that means they really like what he did with Episode 8.
Right. That's a good sign.
So, all right. What have you been playing this week, Sean? How many moons you got?
I don't think I have many more than 250.
I don't think I'm there yet.
You have to be at 250 because you went to the.
Oh, is that how many I needed
Yeah.
to get there? Oh, okay. I bought a bunch.
I think I bought a few. I thought there was
think I
a
bought
finite number of moons in this game, but apparently that's not the case.
There's 833
That you can
you can
find.
find, and then you can buy up to 999.
I just assumed you could buy one in every world. Like
That's
that
what it
was
was.
one of the moons you could
On
find.
the first playthrough, I think that's how it was.
Oh,
Before you
okay.
beat the game. Then when you go back, you can buy them in multiples of 10. and stuff,
Okay.
yeah.
So yeah, I think I'm at 253 maybe because I think I got exactly 250, and then I went and did what you do and the thing that you can do after you get 250.
The thing that I stopped
No
trying to do.
spoilers, yeah.
Yeah.
So you get a multi-moon for that. So I think I'm probably around 253.
You only get one multi-moon for getting through that?
Well, you get
You don't
that
get
and
like
you
a
get
24
a new,
moon?
No, but you get a new like outfit and stuff. It's just kind of a
It's just a badge of honor.
basically. So I've been playing some Mario.
Oh, you played a game for Pardon the Gamer.
Yeah. So I also played what I thought was called Jidge, Jydge. Apparently, it's still pronounced Judge. I don't get it. I don't know if it's just a weird thing that the game wants to do to just be different.
So there's nothing in there about doublespeak or anything about the U not showing up?
Not that I've seen. I mean, it's
Okay.
a game, like I said in my review over at Pardon the Gamer.
Shout out to John Bernardo, as always.
I don't think this is a kind of game that anybody plays for the story. I don't really care what the story is. It's just like it's a typical. You're basically like RoboCop or Judge Dredd. You just go in and you just kill people and you clean
save
up the
hostages.
city. Yeah, exactly. It's that kind of thing. But like, yeah, it's a fun game. I don't want to give too much away because you should just go read the review instead. But I like it a lot. It's something that I could see coming back to. Just I don't know what else to play. Oh, I'll pick that up. That is the perfect kind of Switch game where you can just pick it up, play it for a little bit, and be done, and not feel like it's so overwhelming that I can't even bring myself to get into it again.
I'm assuming
But
the
it's
levels
also
are
like
pretty
you can,
short.
Yeah, you can
Yeah.
beat a level in 2 minutes.
Okay. Yeah, that's perfect for Switch.
And then
or
yeah,
Vita.
it's just constantly
RIP.
auto saving. So when you're done, you just I'm done. I just put it down and I'm done. I don't need to go find a save or find it's fun. I like it a lot. But I think that's it. Yeah, mostly Mario and then Judge. Jidge. Yeah, I think that's it. What about you? Oh, I know you've been playing.
I played some more Mario, got some more moons. I got to the thing that we don't want to talk about because we don't want to spoil anything on here. But it's fun. I'm Mario. I'm going to keep going back to it for a while. I think it's just so much fun getting the moons. Even though, like I said in our quote unquote review last week when we talked about it, even if I never got back and went for more moons and did all that other stuff, it feels like it's a solid 9 out of 10 for me. I loved this game. Absolutely loved it.
I've backtracked a little bit on my plans of getting every single moon in this game.
Well,
like,
good.
I do think it's doable, but at the same time, like even in like the what's the world? The Cap world.
Cap
or
Kingdom.
whatever. Cap Kingdom.
All that fog.
There's
man.
not much there. And I'll look at the map. That was the other thing that threw me for a loop. Well, have you've gone back to the other world, the boxes and all that?
Huh?
Have you gone
Oh,
to
yeah.
So all that does, it shows you locations of the new ones,
But not the old ones.
but not
right.
the old ones. So
So you still got to find them on your
but
own.
even the
yeah.
ones that it does give me the location for, I'm like, I'm standing right there. I'm like looking around for something to do. I'm like, what could this possibly be? Like even the ones where it tells you the location, there's still a lot. Shout out to Murphy.
Shout out to Murphy.
There's still a lot that I just don't know where they are. I mean, it certainly seems more
Yeah.
realistic of being able to do that than finding all the stupid seeds in Zelda. But since there's no again, not that I really care that much about trophies, but I have no desire to just get every moon just to say I got every moon
Yeah.
and look it up online to find I mean, what's the point?
Right.
So
Right.
I'm either going to do it myself or I'll never do it. But
yeah.
I don't know. It'll be a fun challenge. I'd like to still try to do it, but God, I don't know.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
It is. The other thing I've been playing, I jumped into, I didn't get to play as much as I wanted, just been busy this week, but Horizon Zero Dawn, The Frozen Wilds. And good Lord, I had forgotten how beautiful this game is. Especially with all this snow and everything. This game is just beautiful. I probably only put in 2 hours. I played like one night in it. But it all comes back to you. It is nice. So I think to get this quest unlock, even if you just, obviously you buy it and stuff, you have to be level 30, I think, for it to unlock. It's good because I've only ran across one of the new robot dinosaurs, the Scorcher. I think there's like 3 or 4 new ones. Luckily, I've got the awesome armor that basically is just like almost invincibility at this point, you know? So that makes it easier, but it's just like, I love that the gameplay loop of you walk into an area, you turn on your focus, you find the enemies, you look at the weak points, you see if they're weak to fire or if they're weak to ice or if you can corrupt them or do whatever. And then you just, you plot out how you're going to fight them. You look at the tracks. It's just so much fun. This game, it's going to be tough for me to pick game of the year this year. I thought it was a no-brainer around March 3rd.
Yeah.
And then after I got through that and I went back to Horizon, I'm like, man, I'm still anxious to see Zelda's DLC. Hopefully it'll come out this year. I'm still not sold. But man, Horizon It is it's only an 89 on Metacritic. 89 is pretty dang good.
Right.
But I don't know how this isn't mid-90s. I'm not saying it's like 100 out of 100, but it should be pretty damn high. It should be higher than an 89.
It should be at least a 90. I feel like 90
I
is
agree.
kind of like the.
It's 1 point, but to me it makes
But
a difference.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, I don't know. It's a game I definitely want to play it at some point, but it just seems overwhelming to get back into it. I just don't know if I have it in me right now. Maybe after Christmas I will, but
Yeah.
I definitely want to at some point for sure.
It's awesome. 10 out of 10 would recommend. I really would rate this game a 10 out of 10. I think I've said that before. All right, you want to get the news of the week?
Sure.
We don't have a lot to get through. We're going to kind of roll through this. And the whole point of episode 100, if you didn't see the hype video, which was expertly edited by me and was just the most fun video we've ever filmed to get a minute and a half of footage out of it.
That was a lot of fun.
So much fun. So episode 100 is all about y'all. Y'all send in questions. If you have any other questions that you haven't sent in, put them in the chat. Sean will make a note. And we'll get to them here in a little bit because that's going to be the main part of the show. But first, let's get through the news of the week. GTA 5 is officially the best-selling game of all time in the U.S. They have now sold 85 million across the world. All right, I think that's shipped, so it might not be quite that much yet, but they did confirm. Take-Two confirmed that GTA 5 is the best-selling game in the history of the U.S. on their investor call. So that's cool, but that's not what I want to talk about. Take-Two also talked about something else on their investor call, which is concerning, but I'm going to try to not make too much a big deal out of it, but let's just see here. Microtransactions. So Take-Two CEO Strauss Zelnick said this on their investor call, quote, "We aim to have recurrent consumer spending opportunities for every title that we put out at this company. It may not always be an online model. It probably won't always be a virtual currency model, but there will be some ability to engage in an ongoing basis with our titles after release across the board." Do you know what that translates to, Sean?
What's that, Kevin?
They're putting microtransactions in every single game that Take-Two publishes.
Yeah.
So 42% of GTA's income is from microtransactions. And really the only microtransactions they have in GTA is for GTA Online. It's the shark cards. So if you want to spend, it's either $90 or $100, you can get $8 million in GTA money. And people do it because like the Batmobile, I think probably costs like $3 million or something that they just put out.
Yeah.
You can grind and you can do heists and you can do races and transform races and all this other stuff that's new to try to grind and get that money, or you screw it. Just give me $8 million, whatever, and get your Batmobile. That being said, and I guess there's been a lot of microtransactions in NBA 2K. If anybody's in the chat that knows about NBA 2K this year, I've heard there's a lot going on with the microtransactions there, and they're not good. I don't really mind this type of microtransactions because it's like this compared to like Destiny 2, where it's like, oh, you want to wear the cool blue shield on your left shoulder? Give us $5. I'm just making, I don't know that that's like how it really works, but yeah, okay. So Christian said there's a bunch in the new 2K. This is more like, hey, if you want to go get that Batmobile and you just need $8 million so you can buy it, here you go. Or go play online, have fun with your friends. Go do races, do heists, do all this other stuff so you can earn the money. They don't have a, now, I can say this because when the game first came out and I put my 350 hours into it, they had all these ways to just easily make money by duplicating cars and selling them for $200,000 a pop over and over and over and over again. They got rid of all that now. So now if you want that money, you have to either pay for it or you have to really grind for it. Sean, how concerned are you about microtransactions going forward in Take-Two? And what does this mean for Red Dead? If you want a horse with a like a gold saddle, it's gonna be $20 or something.
So
I just don't know.
my thoughts on microtransactions. I don't mind them in general. My experience with them, for the most part, is in stupid like iOS games. Those are the ones I don't like because it seems like it's yeah, you can play for free, or you can pay a lot of money and just be way, 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 way better than everybody else. I hate that crap.
Pay to win.
But if it's just, oh, you wanna unlock this new costume, yeah, pay us some money, you can have it. Yeah, I don't care. People that want to spend money on that, knock yourselves out.
I'm not going to do it,
But
but
when
if you
you-
want to, go
right.
ahead. Yeah.
But the games where you reward the people who spend the most money and making them, therefore better at the game, or making the game easier for them, or giving them some kind of advantage because they paid you more money, that's the crap I hate. It's just stupid.
Pay to win should not exist.
I agree.
Period.
Yes. But if it's just to unlock new costumes and stuff, yeah, whatever. If people want to spend money, let them. But
Well, then
I won't.
the other thing, like now, Call of Duty World War II. Again, guys, correct me if I'm wrong because I haven't played it. But what I've read and Yong Ye has reported on and stuff that loot boxes you're storming the beaches of Normandy and a loot box drops and you have to watch somebody open it. So they're making you see, here's this loot box that you could pay $2.99 for or whatever it is to get X something that's in it. They make you watch this. Remember how there's this thing going around about how Activision had a patent for microtransactions. And they said, oh, no, it was just something we were trying and blah, blah, blah. But now they're like, the game is forcing you to watch loot boxes open that you can pay for.
well, that's
That's
stupid.
where it starts to get kind of weird and kind of shady.
Yeah.
James, League of Legends does it right. I've never played, but I've heard that it's all new skins and costumes. Yeah.
Yeah, that
You wanna
kind of
do that
stuff
right.
I'm fine with. If it's not giving you an advantage for deciding to spend more money, then yeah, whatever.
Or, like, I didn't buy it this year because the wrestling games have been the same for the last 15 years.
Right.
NBA or WWE 2K, you can go through and do all the stuff to unlock all the wrestlers, or you can just pay $5 and you just unlock every wrestler.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, well, I will do that. I do that every time when I buy the game. I'm like, just do it. I just want to play as, I want to play as Shawn Michaels. I don't want to have to do a million other things and to get to play as Shawn Michaels. No, I want to play Shawn Michaels. Here's
Right. Yeah.
So, pay to win is bad. Everything else, we don't really care.
Basically.
So this past week, EA bought Respawn, which is really weird because EA just shut down Visceral Games. Visceral Games was working on a Star Wars game. So now EA, which EA was the this is why it's weird, because I was confused when I read this at first. I was like, I thought they already owned Respawn because EA put out Titanfall. Well, EA was the publisher for Respawn, but they didn't own them. Now they put a ring on it, and it's official. They own them.
Yeah.
Titanfall 3 was announced, and Respawn has a Star Wars game coming out also. I think we already knew that, but we don't know what it is. So I wonder if this means that, like, and if you read Jason Schreier's reporting about the Visceral Star Wars game, yeah, I know how bad my fantasy score is. Thank you, CBS app.
By the way, I just noticed Terry had Robert Woods on his bench. Thank God.
He picked him up and didn't start him?
He had 42 points sitting on his bench.
That's a shame.
That's a shame.
Shout out to Terry. Yeah, like, I don't know. I just think it's weird. If you worked at Visceral Games and you're seeing this news, that has to suck.
Yeah.
Like, you just laid 100 people off, and now you're buying Respawn and bringing them into the fold.
Yeah.
I just think it sucks. I don't know anything about their Star Wars game. We'll see. EA probably thinks it's better than what Amy Hennig was working on, but we will see how it comes. There's a new Hitman game coming in 2018 from the IO blog post. And if you remember, Square Enix got rid of IO Interactive.
Yeah.
They bought the rights to Hitman. And there's a new game coming out in 2018. Quote, one last thing about our next Hitman game. I want to let you know that we're making great progress and we have exciting new features and some franchise firsts, which we can't wait to tell you all about. You'll have to wait a little longer as we don't plan to start talking about that until some point in 2018. You've never played any of the Hitman games.
I have not.
If we ever bring back the So You Think You Can Dance challenge, so you call yourself a gamer, I just want to let you know I am challenging you with Hitman Blood Money. You just have to dig your PS2 out and play it. It is the pinnacle of Hitman
On PS2.
on PS2. It's better than Absolution on PS3. I only played a little bit of Hitman 2016. I didn't like the episodic format. I hope they get away from that, but I'm guessing they won't because it's easier to put out one episode. It's cheap. It's more cost
effective,
I guess, than putting out, a 40-hour game that takes you 3 years to make, but
right.
I think you would like it a lot. Hitman Blood Money it was on my top 75 games of all time list, and I think it's the best Hitman has ever been.
And what was that, like the third one?
It went Hitman 2 Silent Assassin, Hitman Contracts, and then Hitman Blood Money. So it was the fourth. Yeah.
It's definitely a...
Oh, there's a PS3 collection this is what was so weird about Blood Money. Sorry to cut you off. It came out on PS2 and the 360, not the original Xbox. So the 360 got like an HD version, but it didn't come out on PS3 until they put out a PS3 Hitman remaster collection, which was Silent Assassin, Contracts, and Blood Money. Isn't that weird?
Is strange. No, it's right up there. What's the other one? Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
These are two large and successful video game series that I've completely missed out on. That
I thought you were going to say In Charge.
That I'm sure I would enjoy, but like we've talked about in here many times, my backlog is growing way quicker than I will ever be. It's just I can't make up any ground.
I can't.
So at this point, maybe that's the answer. Is I just choose one. If it's Blood Money and
if
Hitman,
you're gonna play one,
whatever
it's Blood Money,
whatever the Assassin's Creed equivalent would be, maybe
it'd
I
probably
just
be Assassin's Creed 2, or
play
well,
one
a lot of people say Black Flag's the best.
Yeah. So I mean, maybe that's the compromise there. Just try to pick the best one from a series and just say, okay, well, at least now I've experienced it. But no, I'm sure I would like it. There's no doubt in my mind. Especially if I just play the best one from the series, I know I'm going to like it, but I just don't know. I don't know when it's going to happen at this point.
It's not the best controlling. It takes some getting used to. But when you do, it's just there's so many ways to carry out your assassination.
Right.
It's just so much fun. And yeah, Blood Money's the best it's ever been. So I'm looking forward to see what Hitman 2018 is. At some point, okay, so Jason says Black Flag or 3 if you're going to play one Assassin's Creed game.
Black Flag or 3. Okay.
3 is the one that's in the American Revolution.
The Revolution.
Yeah.
That one I think
that has the
interests
best
me
setting.
the most. Yeah.
I have that. I've just never played it.
Really?
Jim. Shout
PS3?
out to Jim. Yeah. I've got it sitting up there. I just never played it. A few other quick notes here. Telltale Games laid off 25% of its staff. That sucks. And they just put out the new Guardians. And then James says don't play 3. See, that's the thing. I've heard from most people that 3 is horrible, that it had like the best setting, but something about it just did not work like 2 and Black Flag and others. But I don't know. You guys can fight in the chat. What was I saying? Oh, yeah. So Telltale Games laid off 25% of their staff. That sucks. That is horrible.
Yep.
I still think at some point this year, before the end of the year, I'll get around to playing through Batman. I'm just not. Yeah, Derek. Oh, Derek's here. What's up, Derek? He wanted it to like 3 so badly. See, that's what I hear from most people is that 3 best setting, but it just did not work.
Right.
So anyways, Telltale laid off 25% of their staff. You keep hearing from like guys like Schreier that keep saying like the video game industry is not sustainable. And you keep seeing like, okay, goodbye Visceral Games and Telltale's laying off all these people. And it's like when you have to put so many millions of dollars into these games. Like I understand why they do microtransactions. That's the other thing I forgot to say at the beginning. I get it. You got to have the money coming in. I get it, but man, it sucks. I just 15 years from now, I don't know if we're still playing games on video game consoles. I just don't know. I sure hope so.
Yeah.
We'll see.
I mean, it's obviously, it sucks and all, but I was into the Telltale Batman when I first got it. And then by the end of it, I'm just like, I don't know. Somewhere around probably episode 3, I think. Maybe even 2. It may not even been that far in. something happened. I don't remember what. Maybe it's just gradually as we were both playing through it and talking and what happened to me and what happened to you, that eventually it was just like, okay, it's choose your own adventure, but it's not. Everything
Still end up
kind
with
of
the same outcome, yeah.
like, spoiler alert, if you haven't played through Telltale Batman 1, Season 1, whatever you want to call it, like, Harvey's going to be there. You're going to have the same interaction with him. Is he going to look like Harvey or is he going to look like Two-Face? Like, that's the only thing that your actions really determine. And once that kind of clicked, I'm like, I'm not determining anything. It's all going to play out basically the same way, which it kind of has to. I mean, you can't, it would be almost impossible to make a video game that just has almost infinite branches in terms of possible, endings and resolutions and whatnot. And that kind of takes all the fun out. Once you kind of realize that, I'm just like, at this point, I'm more or less watching a movie. It's almost like playing, what was the game? Like Dragon's Lair or something. Like, it's just quick time events and just like, let's see what happens. And I mean, the story was good. It was different, but it was fun to watch it play out. But I could have just watched that play out. I didn't need to, I better hit up now. I better hit X now. Like, I didn't need that. I don't know.
Yeah, and Derek's bringing up in the chat how long it's going to take to unlock all the different heroes and villains in Star Wars. So they had said that they were changing the way loot boxes and microtransactions work. They really didn't, which really disappoints me. But the boys are looking forward to it, for sure.
How long is it going to take to unlock all the hero and villains characters? I'm so torn on that game. It just looks beautiful.
Gorgeous, yes.
But it's just, I don't know, oddly enough, we'll touch on this subject later. I don't know that it's a game that I would really enjoy. I mean, when it comes down to it, it's a first-person shooter. I just don't know. I really want to like the game, and it just looks beautiful. But, God, I just don't know. I'm really torn on it. But you guys are getting it, so I'll at least play it there. And then, I mean, the first one was fun, but it's not. I didn't enjoy it enough to run out and get it myself. I think if I play 2 when you get it, I think I'll know within 20 minutes of playing it, like, okay, yeah, I need this
I want to
game.
do this right
exactly.
now. Yeah. Quick note here, Derek Connolly is now signed on to write the Metal Gear Solid movie. I don't know how many times I've heard about a different writer is going to be
Metal
writing
Gear
a movie.
Solid movie.
He wrote Jurassic World. I love Jurassic World. Logan apparently didn't. I don't know that I don't think it had the best screenwriting. So I don't know what that really. I don't know how Jurassic World's style of writing translates to Metal Gear Solid. Again, that movie's never coming out anyway.
No,
I don't even know why I care. But
yeah, I don't think we ever see it.
Last few notes here are all about sales numbers. PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. It's not even out yet, officially, and it sold 20 million copies. It's in early access, and 20 million people have bought that game. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? I cannot. Oh, God, it just needs to come to. It just needs to come to PlayStation sooner than later, so I don't have to buy an Xbox. I want to play that game so badly. I do not have a gaming PC. My MacBook can't run it, period.
That's the kind of game, Jason, that I would have loved and I would have played the crap out of. I'm dating myself here, but about 15 years ago when we were doing like our LAN parties and stuff
on your Pentium 480.
Like I would have loved this game, but now it's like, I mean, unless I have it and you have it and Jason has it and Brent has it or any of our new friends through 2-player co-op, like if I'm not playing with people that I know, like I don't want to play this game with strangers. Like that's not fun to me. I don't get, that is my biggest issue with all these like first person shooter, basically multiplayer only games, is if I'm not playing it with people that I know, it's not fun to just play with strangers. It's just, it doesn't do it for me. I'm sure a lot of people are totally fine with it. Doesn't do it for me. If I could play this game with a bunch of people that like I know, if I could play this game with just friends, I would love this game. But it's just, I don't know. I have no desire to play this game and just go online and play with random people.
I really want to play it. Derek says I could build a PC. You're right. I could. It's just not with my life situation. It's just not. I don't have anywhere to put it, first of all. But
It will be Child Solid Snake.
and it probably will be a kid. Like again, Uncharted's going to be Kid Drake. It's so stupid. Nothing against Tom Holland, but he is not Nathan Drake.
He's not. No, I like him a lot, but that doesn't work for me.
Also, Assassin's Creed Origins has doubled in the launch weekend. It doubled the sales of Assassin's Creed Syndicate. That's good. See, you don't have to put out these games every year. Go Assassin's Creed, Watch Dogs, Assassin's Creed, Watch Dogs. And I'll play the Watch Dogs, and other people can play the Assassin's Creed. But it doubled the sales of Syndicate, which is awesome. Call of Duty World War II doubled the launch sales of Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. And then they touted this stat, which I hate. It's so stupid.
Okay.
This makes me so mad. In the first 3 days of sales, Logan's here.
I told
know
you
you're
he'd be
tired.
here.
Man, you are a trooper, dude. I thought you'd be asleep.
Logan, Kevin said he wouldn't be here, but I said he would definitely be
Shout
here.
out to Logan and Irrational Passions, raising money for those big, beautiful kids, hanging out with Greg Miller over the weekend. Logan, I'm sure you've got crazy stories to tell, and we'll get into that sometime.
Good point, James.
James, y'all are going to do this again. So James says, Tom Holland doesn't strike me as a mass murderer type. I am so sick of this. I'm not even getting into it. I'm not falling for the trap this time. Drake is not a mass murderer. He is killing people that are trying to kill him. People are trying to kill him, so he kills them first. Period.
Nathan Drake is not a mass murderer. He's killing a bunch of people. Stop.
It's self-defense.
I'm not. But by definition, he is a mass murderer. That's Murphy. He's fine.
He sounds like a crying
He's
baby.
killing multiple people. He's therefore a mass
Killing
murderer.
Independent George.
His reasons are okay, but he is by definition a mass murderer.
Anyways, this is the stat that makes me so annoyed about Call of Duty World War II, because I've seen this happen with video games before, and I think it's so dumb. They tout that they accounted for over $500 million in revenue in the first 3 days, which they say is higher than Thor and Wonder Woman combined in their opening weekends. You're talking about a $60 game that's like $120 if you get the collector's legacy edition, whatever, versus a movie that's like $12 per ticket. Why do you compare this stuff at night? If you go during the day,
$10
it's like
on average. Yeah,
why the hell?
that's stupid.
Thanks, James. I'm glad you got your reaction. What? This stat is so stupid. They did this with Metal Gear Solid 5 also.
It is. I was wondering. I'm looking at your rundown here,
And that's why I wrote, this is dumb.
Well, I was wondering what you meant. I'm like, I didn't realize they were touting that stat. I thought you were like, I don't like that this game did better than.
No.
But yeah, it's stupid for them to.
No movie will ever sell $500 million until inflation is so ridiculously out of control. No movie will ever make $500 million in one weekend.
Right.
I don't care what it is. It will never
stupid.
happen.
It's
This
apples
stat
and
is
oranges. It's not even
so
apples and oranges.
Stupid.
It's like apples and
milk.
pianos. Like
Piano.
it has nothing. It's just stupid. Yeah, I agree. Very, very dumb.
I'm glad we agree. All right, that's it for the news of the week.
Shout out to Wiseacre Brewery, by the way.
Shout out to Wiseacre.
They
Memphis
make a
Brewery.
mean double IPA. Adjective animal. It's
Wild
fantastic.
Turkey,
Silly Goose.
Raging Raven, Solid Snake,
Did you say Grey Goose?
Gray Goose.
Oh, no, you said Wild Turkey, and then I
Said
said
Wild
Silly
Turkey.
Goose. Grey Goose. It's true. Everything follows the formula of adjective animal. It just does.
It's very refreshing.
It's very refreshing.
All right, let's get to the audience question segment of the podcast. This is what episode 100 is about. It's all about you guys. If you got any questions you haven't got in and you're in the chat right now, go ahead and hit us up. We got a few from the audience members, and we're going to run through them now. Episode 100, all about the fans. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for getting us to 100 episodes and 500 subscribers. First comes from our buddy Kevin Demo, or Demo. He's got a good name. You all right over there?
That was a verb.
That was a verb. Hold it down, buddy.
Not good. Ugh. Yep.
Congrats on hitting episode 100. I want to send in a question for you guys if you get to it. What do you think are the most important things you've learned about podcasting / creating gaming content since you started the podcast? Are there any things you're still working on or find yourselves having to be careful to do or not do while recording? Thanks and good luck with the next 100 episodes. Thank you, Kevin, for writing in. I wrote down a couple of notes here.
Logan, see you later, buddy. Thanks for dropping in. Congrats. You guys are doing good work there. Have fun.
Thanks, Logan.
And then get some sleep.
Watch it on Wednesday. You deserve your rest, buddy. Some of the notes I wrote down here.
Okay, Simon. All right. Cliff Notes. What was the question again? Because I was reading Logan's thing. Basically,
What have we
What have you
learned?
learned? Okay.
Yeah. I cannot stop clearing my throat when I'm on the podcast.
You
see
know,
me go
you know
like
what
this,
I learned about you is you say
and you
instead
say
of,
and you say Is that what it is?
See, I haven't I mean, that's what you said. I haven't noticed that.
Well, that's one of the things
But
I
you
wrote
say,
down here is oh my God.
Oh my God.
But like the ums is one thing. If you take any public speaking class, they tell you don't say
and yeah. Oh, I'm terrible with that.
It's just you get to the end of a thought and you don't want to just have dead air, so you say or well, it's just something you do. I try not to. I try to be so conscious of it. I know I do it. I clear my throat like crazy on these podcasts. I don't know why.
That I haven't noticed. But now that you mention it, I can kind of...
I think it's because I talk more on this podcast than I do most of the rest of the day because I'm at work. I'm just sitting in front of my computer, you know? So it's like...
Right.
And it gets to itchy and I got to clear it, whatever. But that's one of the things now I'm conscious of it. I have to do it. Swearing or the lack thereof.
No.
No. I'm saying,
I was gonna say you're pretty.
When I started this podcast, I said I want this to be PG. I want my kids to be able to watch it. I want other kids because go back if you never watched our This Is Us episode of the Friday show, whatever it was that we called it, was one of the things that I always loved about Kind of Funny was like Colin's knowledge of gaming, and he did this Let's Play series where it was Teaching Tuesdays. He'd teach you how to play Mega Man 2, Castlevania 1. I can't remember what some of the other games were, but it was so cool. And I was like, these are some of the games I grew up on, and this guy knows how to beat it. He knows everything to do and whatever. But I'm like, I can't have my kids watch this because every other word's an F-bomb and everything. Like, so we always try to keep it clean. I don't have the cleanest mouth in the world. That's one thing I have personally struggled with, is keeping it clean. The other thing is just, this is tough. Just doing all of this. This is not, it's, you think you just sit down and you record and it's whatever. And that's true, but there's a lot more that goes into it. Especially before we got some decent equipment, like we got the Zoom H6, we got new microphones and all that other stuff, but it's just, this is a lot of work. When you think of guys like Kind of Funny, and I mean, Logan's not in the chat anymore, but Irrational Passions and everything they're doing over there, like, it's a lot of work. It is tough to do this. And the other thing that kind of goes off of that is YouTube algorithms. Good Lord. I can't figure them out. Like, we post a WWE 2K16 Let's Play the week it comes out, and it goes off like gangbusters, even though YouTube took all this background sound out of it so we wouldn't get copyright strikes, and it's just like nothing is synced.
Production value-wise, that's probably bottom
the
2 or
worst
3 videos that we've ever
and it's
posted.
over 33,000 views now. Irrational Passions. Did I say it wrong, Logan? Did I say I don't know. I thought I said Irrational Passions.
I thought you did, but you probably didn't. If he's calling you out, you didn't.
Sorry, Logan. I thought I said Irrational. I might have said Irrational Podcast. Maybe that's what I said.
Maybe. Yeah.
It's just tough. It is a lot of work. But yeah, and that's the other thing is that, like, so then WWE 2K blows up, and then so we're like, okay, well, let's do, like, I did that 1 hour playthrough of Resident Evil 7, thinking that would blow up because the first hour of it is freaking amazing, and it was right after it came out, like 40 views. Like Mario Kart Deluxe comes out, a few hundred views, and then like randomly, like 600-700 people wanted to watch Shovel Knight co-op. I'm like, why? Why do you want to? I can't figure out how, and that can be frustrating, is how you get, like, balancing the content we want to make with what y'all want to watch. Oh, he's just giving a shout out. Okay, I was just okay.
Oh.
It's the balancing act and all that. It's a lot of work. So I've been talking a lot. Sean, what have you learned since we started?
I've learned that I say the same thing a lot, and I became conscious of it a while ago, and now I'm very much conscious of it, and now I catch myself. I mean, it doesn't stop me. I still do it, but whenever I'm talking about something that I like, I always say, I absolutely loved it. 100%. That's how I did.
I did that all the time too.
I notice I use the same phrases every time. The other thing that's funny, it has nothing to do with well, I guess it kind of does, but what's weird is when, and I was talking to you about this, I think just a week or two ago, when I watch or listen back to our podcasts, you'll say something, and then in my head as I'm watching
Right.
/ listening, I'd be like, oh, that reminds me of such and such. And then me on the podcast will say, that reminds me, and I'm like, oh, I forgot I said that. But it's just funny how it's like, I have the same thoughts now that I did then. It's just weird. It's some kind of psychological thing. But just the main thing that you touched on, I guess, is I know, Logan, especially if you're still out there, I don't know how people do this. Like, if this is
Not
your
for a
job,
living.
I get it. But this is not our job. And I mean, I don't even have a family. I mean, I have a wife, but I don't have like kids or anything. I don't know how
And a
you do
dog.
it. I don't know how other people do it. Like
Well, yeah.
people that put a lot more, not dragging us down or anything, but people that probably put a lot more into it than we do.
Yeah.
I just don't know how people do it. It is a lot of work, and like, I don't know. It's tough. I enjoy it and all, but God, it is a lot of work. It is more work than if we never got into this business. It is a lot more work than I would have ever imagined it was, having just watched and listened to other people do it. But it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. And obviously, just in terms of things we've learned from the technical side of things.
Oh yeah.
Don't depend on a crappy computer, no offense.
I don't. It's 5 years
just the other thing is you can convince a lot of people that what you're doing is of high quality just by sounding good.
old. Yeah.
We get a lot of compliments, pat on our own back and everything, but I admit we sound good. I cannot recommend
We
anybody
sound
out there
like a
that podcasts. Our video equipment isn't top notch, but for YouTube, it's fine. We're using free iMovie for video post production. We could probably do something better, but audio, I think we're killing it.
Audio, we sound like a professional podcast.
If you
yes.
podcast, our mics cost what, $40, $50?
70, I think. Well, I mean, when I got mine, I think you got yours on sale for 50. Yeah.
Get some good. These
that
ones
you
were
can
even
see,
cheaper.
These were $20. And
Get good microphones. Like, you don't need to
smooth
spend
like silk. Thank you, Derek.
you don't need to spend hundreds of dollars on good equipment. If you podcast, even just occasionally, if you're putting content out there that is audio in nature, if not video as well, invest in some good equipment, because if I listen to a podcast and it's bad, just quality,
I
not even
immediately turn it
content,
off.
but
Yeah.
if I hear you and it sounds like you're, like if we were recording this stream just talking into my Mac microphone,
Or recording
if I
on an
start
iPhone
listening
or
to
something,
something and we sounded like that, I'm turning it off immediately.
And the thing is, too, if you've got a decent PC, you don't have to get a Zoom H6 that costs $400. You don't have to do that. You can get a USB mixer with just 2 inputs or something for like $80. Get you a couple of good XLR microphones and just go to it. I would love to have a Shure SM7B like Rogan does and Kind of Funny and all these other professional guys that cost $400 a piece.
Well, when we win Powerball.
Plus a $200 cloud lifter thing because it can't even do phantom power. But we sound just as good as they do.
Right. Yeah.
But I will say that, yeah. And the other thing I'll say, do our wives laugh at us for doing a video game podcast? Yes, Derek. Yes.
My
they
wife
do.
is in the background right now drinking what?
He said wife. Oh, okay. I thought she was like, I got a ring.
She did this to me.
Yeah.
I'm like, I said wife. I didn't say girlfriend.
I will
She's in the
say-
background right now, just kind of smirking, and it's. I mean,
All
they-
jokes aside, I will say, for my wife at least, Jess is amazing and very supportive of this dumb hobby that we do. And I know it's dumb, but we love it. But she's so supportive and encouraging and everything else that yeah.
Shout out to Brittany. She's drinking wine in the background right now. I disappear for at least 2 hours a week, if not 3, depending on how many times we record in a given week. I disappear, and it's not like I'm literally disappearing out to the bars. I mean, I'm going to his house and either playing and or talking about video games. But
you know what's
shout out to Brittany for being cool with it, and I mean,
shout out to Brittany.
100 episodes now over 2 years.
2 years. That's the thing. We've been doing this for almost 2 years. All I've got playing in my head now is Metallica's crappy Mission Impossible song. It's time I disappear.
Oh God,
you remember that?
I do.
The other thing though that's cool. Before we started this, the other thing I've learned, and then this will probably be my last note on this one, is I knew nothing. The first time we sat down to podcast, we had 2 USB mics. We thought we could plug them both into a Mac and it would just work, and we'd open GarageBand and record. No, you got to do this thing called an aggregate device. Didn't know how to do that. Didn't know how
Well, to be fair, part of the problem is we both use Macs, and I think that
Yeah.
makes everything a lot more difficult. I love
Like
my
streaming.
Mac, but
Yeah.
it makes things more difficult. But that's funny because when I pulled out this giant, like 50-foot Ethernet cable, I still have my old microphone in the drawer up there, still connected to the arm that we used to use. I'm like, God, it's funny that we used to use this, but yeah, we had no idea what we were doing.
We had literally no idea.
We told the story many times now, but we were out for snacks and drinks at Mellow Mushroom, and we just said, hey, we should do a podcast, and we filled up a pizza box top with ideas of names, and then it basically got to the point where like, all right, let's go ahead and record. And then we're like, we'll figure it out as we go. And I feel like we've come a long way.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I've learned so much about audio and video and stuff, and how to edit videos and how to edit audio and stuff. Like now, building on Sean's point, now when I hear like, or even like produce videos, like when we go to Hope, like their AV department is ridiculous. They're so. I want to go backstage sometime and just see their
What
recording
kind of
studio and
equipment,
everything
yeah.
they have and everything they do. But like lower level than that, like when audio's bad, like even on like local commercials and stuff, I'm like, God, why are you using a boom mic and you know why are
Well,
you
what's
should be
funny
using,
is
like,
there's that commercial. I want to say it's for like UPS maybe, and it's something like it's talking more to like small businesses, but it's like the moral of the story is basically everything you put out there, everything you do, everything you say, everything you show, whatever, to your customers makes a huge difference. And there's one, it's like some woman running a business out of like her attic or something. She's like, oh, my address? Oh, it's P.O. Box. What do you, of course, yes, this is a legit business. And like people are out to eat at a restaurant and there's like a Post-it note on the menu saying like, ooh, fresh oysters and all this stuff. And people are like, I don't think so. Like everything you do, like you need to, what were we talking about? I can't remember where I was going with that. What were you just saying? What was the last thing you said?
audio video quality.
Yeah, it's that kind of thing.
Yeah. Oh, that's what I was talking about. I don't know where you were going.
I can't remember where I was going, but just like how important it is. I mean, it's the same thing I've already said, but like you need to, you have to put a good, that's what it is. About how like if we listen to another commercials, that's what I was thinking.
Okay, sorry, yeah.
That's what I was
like
thinking.
Landers Ford.
Right. If I see a commercial for like some local business and it looks like a local business commercial, like you said, shot on an iPhone, and just like, I'm like, I'm probably not going to go there. And it's stupid because it means nothing about their product, but I mean, advertising works. And if you see a commercial for a local business and it looks like it's a like national chain kind of commercial, like it's well done, high video quality, the sound is good, I'm thinking, hey, these people are legit. I'm that much more likely to actually go and give them my business. As stupid as it is, because it means nothing about their product that they offer, it's all in how you present yourself. And like I said, we don't have top of the line equipment by any means, as you can tell by the quality of the stream, but it goes a long way for sure.
Yeah. So I think that's what we've learned doing this podcast. Thank you for the question, Kevin. Appreciate it. I'm glad I didn't scare you off after the selling consoles Friday show that we did. Mikey G writes in and just simply says, the Bob Mackey video. Any regrets? Simply put,
oh, hey, Brittany's in the chat.
hell no, I have no regrets. The guy has just gotten more psychotic since then. That was an M. See, that was the sound I made. M. Bob Mackey. Bob Mackey's obsession with Colin has just continued since then and gotten worse. We haven't run across him again. He hasn't told us to debate him, which is still the funniest thing in the world that you'll pick on, or I mean that very facetiously. Pick on a couple of small-time YouTubers, but whenever Colin brings up debating him, I'm not going to debate you, and blah, 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 blah. He's gotten more psychotic since then. The fact that Colin blocks him and he still feels the need to go on and just sign into twitter.com, not logged in, so he can see his stuff, so he can screenshot it, so he can tweet it out.
Yeah, and he does that. He's at this point, he's like an unabashed stalker at this point.
And the funny thing
and
is...
he has no shame about it. He's like, yeah, I do that.
But the funny thing is when he sent out that last tweet, when he not the last tweet, but the last thing that got Colin really riled up when he said, I will haunt you forever, whatever he said, and Colin's like, now you're officially threatening me. Like, that is really messed up that you're saying that. And he said, I've reported it to Twitter and blah, blah, blah. Mackey deleted the tweet.
Oh,
so
of course.
Mr. Tough Guy Bob Mackey took down the tweet. I have no regrets.
Oh, I have absolutely.
We got a lot of hate from his psychotic followers who are just as bad as he is, if not worse.
As bad as it sounds, that whole experience was maybe the high point of this for me.
Yeah, that 10-minute discussion is probably the most
but not
proud
even
we've
not even
been.
just. I mean, that was fun, but just the aftermath.
Oh no, I know. Right.
Like I was totally fine. Like, bring on the hate. You guys are just a bunch of idiot. Like, I enjoyed that probably way more than I actually should have. But no, absolutely no regrets here.
No regrets.
No regrets.
Okay.
He is just a...
I don't know what it would be like that my whole, literally,
Well, look at everything he tweets. Like, yeah,
Right.
He's got a lot more followers than we do. You got a bigger audience. Congratulations. But, like, when you look at his, like, his timeline, whatever, Twitter feed, it's like, yeah, a few comments here, some likes, whatever. And then it's like, well, here's something about Colin, and then everybody's like, yeah, Colin's an idiot. He's stupid. Look at him. Oh, I can't believe he said that. And it's like, okay, well, I guess it's that time again where you have to
tweet
drum
something
up
about
Colin
some interest in yourself.
Yeah, he's such a...
He's cultivated... Derek, I've stepped on many a Lego, and it is not fun. I've actually also stepped on a bulldozer toy and had it explode into my foot and had blood go... Because I sent Sean the picture, so he could vouch
I
for
remember
that.
that
There's
one.
blood everywhere. Bob Mackey is just the worst. And the fact that he now makes his living podcasting about a show that, I feel bad saying this, but I guess you kind of agree with me, hasn't been funny in 20 years.
Oh, it hasn't been. I loved The Simpsons way back when. I haven't watched it in, honest to God, probably 10 years.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just...
Yeah. Well, and Sean and I were talking about this last night. We got together and we had a game night on the Raspberry Pi and just playing a bunch of old games and had so much fun. We didn't even talk about that in the opening. We forgot to talk about that.
Oh, yeah. That's what I've been playing.
The thing that makes me so sad about Bob Mackey being a psychopath is that once I found out who he was, and I still never heard of this before him, and that was one of the things on our videos. You've never heard of Retronauts? Who is this? These guys are idiots. No, I never did. But after all this started, and I looked at what Retronauts is, still won't listen to... Thank you, Jason. He has no idea who he is. He hosts a podcast with Jeremy Parrish and a couple other guys called Retronauts, where they basically talk about old video games. I hate that he's a psychopath because that should be one of my favorite podcasts. But I will never even listen to it.
No.
Or even give it the time of day because he is him.
He is him.
You know what I mean.
Yes.
He is who he said he was.
Right.
They crowned him. So, long story short, no regrets on Bob Mackey. I don't know that I'll ever do...
Where did that end up in terms of views? Number 2, number 3? It's after WWE.
Ended up number 2.
That's pretty good.
So, and the internet is a funny thing. The internet is a lot like beer.
I can't wait to hear this.
Because-
Hey, Matt's here. What's up, Matt?
Matt, thank you. He is him, and yeah. The internet gives you. He isn't not okay, Matt. No, I can't go down that rabbit hole. I'm going to get confused. The internet gives you beer muscles, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Oh,
when you can
anonymity,
just sit
yes.
behind a keyboard, the things they were talking about, us talking about our production value and stuff we were talking about earlier. We joked on the next episode where we opened up acting like we were going to quit and we were so sad because they made fun of our boxes and like my haircut. I'm not going to say it. Somebody made fun of my haircut or something. And I'm like, I don't care. Like, this is what you have to stoop to.
Right.
Like, and the things they were being said, of course, what's up, Matt? None of these people would tweet at one of us, even though
no. Oh, that's how they, yeah.
we have it in the description, our Twitter. We say it at the beginning. Everything else, come at us. Digital Courage.
You know
is
how
a
to
great,
reach
there
us.
you go, Derek. Digital Courage. Come at us. Like, I don't care. And I responded to a few of them. They're like, oh, they can't even frame the shot right. And I tweeted that guy. I was like, I take offense to that. This was framed up perfectly. The boxes are right in the middle. And blah, 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 blah. I'm like, no. You will not talk about my framing of the shot, buddy. So, I don't know. But no, I regret nothing when it comes to Bob Mackey. Anything else you want to add?
Not at all. I regret nothing as well. I'm actually quite proud of it.
Yes.
Quite the opposite.
He is a horrible.
Not only do I not regret it, I am absolutely 110% proud of that.
He's a horrible person. Venom 316.
Wait, time out.
Yes.
I need to give a little bit more love to Derek Bamford because I've never heard that used before, but that
Digital Courage?
No.
Yeah.
further up. That totally sums it up. I hope he steps on
a Lego. That is.
because there's nothing more. I mean, that is. I'm sure you have more experience with it than I do.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, that is perfect. I hope he steps on a Lego.
The
I
only
don't
thing-
necessarily want him to like die in a
I don't
car
want.
crash,
Right.
but I hope he steps on a Lego. That is perfect.
Or steps on cat puke in the middle of the night and slips and falls on his ass.
That too. Onto a pile of Legos.
Yeah. That's. Yes. And some people do want to watch the world burn, Matt. So Venom 316 writes in and says, Survivor Series 1997.
Ooh.
20 years later, discuss. So the Montreal Screwjob happened on November 9th, 1997. Do you remember this? Watching it live?
I know we ordered it, yeah.
I remember sitting in the living room watching it. Let me run down. I have a shirt that has Godzilla stepping on a Lego, which is hilarious. That is hilarious, Jason.
That's awesome.
We all know Survivor Series 97 for the Montreal Screwjob.
Yes.
Before we talk about that, I want to read you the card for
Okay.
this spectacular pay-per-view.
I'm going to guess it's pretty forgettable.
The Godwins and the New Age Outlaws. This is before they were the New Age Outlaws. They were still called
This
the New
is
Age
like
Outlaws.
pre-D- I
but
mean,
it's
it's
before they were
DX,
DX, but not like official yet and everything. They defeated the Headbangers and the New Blackjacks, which was Blackjack Bradshaw,
Blackshaw Bradshaw.
Blackjack Bradshaw, and Blackjack Wyndham. So
Blackshaw Bradshaw.
JBL and Barry Windham. The Truth Commission. Remember them?
Truth Commission.
With Kurgan. They were like from South Africa and all that other stuff. They had the red berets and the green shirts and the khaki pants.
Oh my god!
They look
I was
like
getting them confused with
Rolento.
Right to Censor.
They look like Rolento from Street Fighter.
What was
Alpha.
their gimmick though? What was their shtick?
They were racist. I don't know.
Was that where Kurgan started?
Kurgan started, and then he went to the.
And then he went to the oddities.
Yes,
with
the oddities. Yes.
Yeah.
They defeated the DOA, which was 8-Ball, Chains, Crush, and Skull. Then Team Canada, consisting of the Bulldog, Doug Furness,
And Phil
Philip
LaFon.
and Jim Neinhart, defeated Team USA, Goldust, Mark Merrow, Steve Blackman, and Vader with Sable. Kane beat Mankind. That was a fun match. I remember he
Was that the wrench?
No, that was Vader.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah, that was
couple
Vader.
months later.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
In February. Ahmed Johnson, Ken Shamrock, and the Legion of Doom defeated the Nation of Domination, which was D'Lo Brown, Farouk, Kama, and Rocky Maivia. He was still called Rocky
Fuzzy
Maivia
Top.
then.
Well, that was post Fuzzy Top, I guess.
It was post Fuzzy Top, but he hadn't really become The Rock
He wasn't
yet.
the Rock yet.
Stone Cold Steve Austin defeated Owen Hart for the Intercontinental Championship in 4 minutes. It was his first
Wow.
match back after the broken neck. They had to have it be quick. Really, they got in the ring and he just he missed him with a kick, but then he hit the stunner and it was over.
Did he give him? So after SummerSlam, he was the champ. Did it just go back to Owen, or did they do like a tournament?
They did a
or-
tournament. Farouk won it. Farouk won the Intercontinental title, which I did not remember. Shout out to @Mr. Brandon Stroud on Twitter. Yes, Kane was freaking awesome before they took the mask off and made him a joke. Yeah, so Farouk won it, and then at the pay-per-view before that, Austin came out, hit Farouk in the head with the Intercontinental title. Owen pinned him to win the Intercontinental title. And the announcer was like,
Was that back when he was still wearing like the? No, that was post. That was NOD.
That was post-helmet.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
But they're like, why would he do that? Blah, blah, blah. Well, obviously he wants to beat Owen for the title. That's why he helped him win it. That's what he's going to do.
Right.
So, yeah. And then the main event, Shawn Michaels defeated Bret Hart by submission is what the record books tell us. The most infamous match in the history of wrestling, bar none. Not even close. Nothing's
Most
close.
infamous finish.
What's or are you,
Hulk and Andre. I mean, there's.
No, but those are fame. No, I'm saying infamous. I'm saying.
Oh, infamous. Okay. Well, okay. Yeah. Timeout. We can't go any further yet.
Okay.
I wanted to talk about this and I totally forgot. I watched the Ric Flair 30 for 30.
Oh, this is somewhat related. It's okay.
A, it was awesome. B,
Wait. Derek, I also did not know that Kane's mask had fake hair until about 2 years ago also. Because when he went from bald to hair, I was like, how is this happening? Back in the day, it didn't have fake hair. Back in the day, he really did have long hair.
Yeah.
Did you cry the last 15 minutes? Because I did.
So I watched it while Brittany was out, and then she came back for like the last 5 minutes or so.
Oh, God.
Well, maybe 10 minutes. And so
During
right at
all
the
Reed
worst
stuff?
part of it. So I was already kind of like, oh, God, it was right around the end of the Reed stuff, but it was when he was getting into all the Charlotte stuff, which until that, I didn't know her name was actually Ashley.
Ashley. I
Totally.
I knew
didn't
it, but I had
realize that.
forgotten it. Yeah.
So I was already kind of getting a little teary-eyed.
But then saying
And then-
he'd be happy for Charlotte, I was like, no, I'm crying because he's
Well,
happy.
right, exactly.
Right.
So I was like borderline, I was somewhere in the middle of sad and happy. And then she just happened to know I'm going to do this even though I probably shouldn't because I'm drinking but I don't care. I'm behind, so I can't tell. But over here, I have a picture of my lovely cat Stanley, who we had to put down a couple weeks ago. I had it printed out and framed and whatever. And she noticed that for the first time. So then she points that out. And I'm already
my God.
borderline crying. And I'm like, yep, I did that. And I'm just like, I don't want to talk about it, whatever. And I'm just like, I'm like trying to hold everything back. But the episode, I mean, it was the episode, the whatever you call it,
30.
the show.
Yeah.
Okay. I take back everything I said. God, it was back a couple months ago, 2-3 months ago.
Derek, people are stupid.
Whoa, I got to get caught up.
The last
I deny
comment
that
there.
came with a...
Saying it promotes
Sorry.
misconduct. You're right.
Oh,
that's
that's
why we can't have nice
stupid.
things. That's the
give
world
me
we
a
live in
break.
now. That's just
No, he says at the end, nobody should live the way I do.
Right.
I mean, I'm not quoting him, but more or less, I did everything wrong. I'm
Yeah.
shocked I'm still alive, whatever. Oh, I can't remember when it was. It was maybe around SummerSlam when we were talking about the Mount Rushmore. And I'm like,
Now,
I
okay.
kind of said it on air, and then I talked about it a lot more off air. I'm like, I don't get why everybody's like, well, hands down, Ric Flair's on there. And then after that, and yada, 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 I'm like, well, okay, I agree Flair should probably be on there, but I don't know why everybody thinks it's just so hands down. I have such more of an appreciation for Ric Flair now than I ever did before.
I wanted to ask you that.
And I didn't know that WrestleMania 8 was supposed to be Hogan and Flair. And even if it was, I probably would have been like, that's cool.
How do
but
you
watching
screw
this
that up?
back, I'm like, that would have been...
How do you go from that to? I mean, Flair Macho was still good, but Hogan Sid, the two.
Right.
I loved Sid for what he was. I loved Hogan for what he was. But when you talk about wrestlers, no.
And I think of Hogan just as this big... I'm not a big Hogan fan. But even seeing him and saying... No, Flair's the best.
I'm
ever.
not
Are you
even
kidding
close to
me?
him,
He's
yeah.
4 times
Yeah.
better than I. I was like, okay, well, props
That
to you
makes
for
me
saying
happy.
that. That's not. Yeah, I like that a lot. But God, it was so good. If you haven't seen the Flair 30 for 30 and you're a wrestling fan, you've got to see it. I've always been a Ric Flair fan, but I just don't think I had quite the appreciation of him that I should have had. And
Yeah. The whole time I was watching, I kept thinking, God, when are they going to bring up Reed? When are they going to bring up
Yeah.
Reed? And then they did, and I was like, oh,
well,
God.
I kept waiting for them. I thought this was supposed to be done a while ago. I thought they were going to touch on the whole thing with Flair almost dying, and then
Yeah.
they didn't. I thought
Well, the
that was
director-
I thought it was supposed to come out a while ago, and then
He-
it got pushed back. So I thought, oh, they're going to include. And the director said something about it was like 2
like a
interviews.
commercial break, yeah.
So I thought it was like a pre all that interview.
Well, no,
and
the
then a
second one
post-
was in February, which was before he almost died.
Oh, the second one was still way back in
It was
February.
February,
Okay.
yeah.
I thought it was like a pre and post thing, so I was waiting for them to get into that, and they never did.
Yeah.
But, oh, God, it was so good.
And Derek's right. Beyond the Mat was amazing. I have it on DVD.
Oh, my God. I watched that. I mean, I watched it way back when it came out, but I don't remember
What I need
anything
to watch
about
again
it.
is Wrestling with Shadows, the Heart documentary,
That, too. Oh,
which
God.
leads us back to Survivor Series 97. You know, there is a whole bunch of conspiracy theories going around that it was all work and only Vince and Brett knew it, that even Shawn doesn't know it. And I'm like, you're stupid. But then I'm like, wait a minute. Going back to remember March, right before WrestleMania, when the cage match happened and Brett lost the title to Sid, or Sid kept the title because Stone Cold came out and hit him with a chair. And then after the match, Vince is in there. So what do you think, Brett? This is bull. And he shoves him down. Everybody screwed me. You screwed me. The WWF screwed me. Oh, you screwed me. And I'm like, oh. And then throughout the summer, as he's going, obviously, pro-Canada, anti-America, everything's about him getting screwed and all this other stuff and blah, blah, blah. And then it would benefit Brett leaving because he would be the hottest ticket. It would benefit the WWE because everybody would be like, I can't believe that happened and blah, blah, blah. We got to see what happens next. I still don't believe it because it did.
No, those reactions were too genuine. There's been too many things written about it. If that is a conspiracy, I mean, it is. If that's true, that is the one of the big. I mean, I'm exaggerating here. There's Kennedy and whatever. That would be one of the biggest.
This is
cover-ups in
beyond
history.
Kennedy.
Like, I feel like there's no way.
There's no way. So let's put that to bed.
Yeah.
I went back and watched the match. So I don't know if you remember. I took some notes. Do you remember the actual match in and of itself?
Not really. I remember them fighting into the crowd, and
Yes.
then I mean, that's about it.
So JR said, and I remember this when it happened, there was such a weird... I remember watching this before we knew that obviously this was going to happen, but it was like, this just feels weird. Like I remember sitting there in the living room watching it being like, I can't believe we're actually getting this match. Like
I do remember just
it was
being
supposed to happen at WrestleMania
weird.
13. Shawn
Because to
wouldn't
me,
do
the
job.
Iron Man match is like #1 match of all time. It's
Yeah.
probably not, but in my mind, it is.
Right.
And all of a sudden, it's like, holy crap, they're wrestling again. And yeah, I just kind of had that feeling of like, I can't believe we're getting to watch this. And then, yeah.
Yeah, so some notes I took because I watched this Friday night. I was bored, and I said, it's the anniversary. I want to watch this. JR says, as they're getting ready to start the match, quote, the smart money is that you will never, ever see this match again. Then he also, throughout the match, he talks about there's rumors of Brett leaving, blah, 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 because JR knew Brett had signed with WCW.
Okay.
The plan, well, let me get through this. When Brett hands over the title to Earl Hebner to start the match, he gives him a look like,
Really?
don't you friggin', like his eyes are saying, don't you dare. Like, and if you don't know the behind the scenes story of this, Brett and Earl Hebner had a behind the scenes meeting where Earl Hebner said, I will not screw you. You have my word. That's why when it went down, he went, ring the bell, whee! And he ran out to a car. There was a car waiting outside the arena. He got out of there as fast as he could. So they fought into the crowd, like you said at the beginning. The bell didn't even ring for like 10 minutes. It was technically only a 12-minute.
That's right.
It was only a 12-minute match, but they fought in the crowd for about 12 to 15 minutes. They fought in the crowd where literally people knew wrestling was scripted then. After this, everybody knew because Vince was like, well, Brett didn't do the right thing and Brett screwed Brett and all that other stuff. You had these people that wanted to murder Shawn Michaels, real name Michael Higginbottom, and you had these guys fighting in the crowd.
Okay, so let me stop you right there. I know I was rooting for Shawn. Who was the quote-unquote face here? I'm not saying in Montreal, in Canada, but in general. Was Shawn still the face?
Brett was it was heel versus heel at this point because Brett was.
I was going to say, this almost seems like if they did Hogan versus Slaughter when he was like the Iraqi sympathizer, whatever. If they did that match in
versus
Iraq
NWO Hogan.
and they were fighting in the crowd, like maybe it's just because I was rooting for Shawn, but it just seems weird that obviously the crowd there was way, 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 way pro Brett.
Yeah.
But I think in general he was the heel, but maybe he wasn't. Maybe they were
They're
just
both.
both
Sean
kinda
was an
heels.
a-hole the whole time, and like before the match, he humped the Canadian flag and stuff. Like,
Yeah.
so they go in the crowd. They do all this other stuff. I was worried for Sean's life, even though I know how it ended up. After that, Vince McMahon and Sergeant Slaughter come out. They have all the refs. Every ref was out there at ringside. I remember thinking, this is so weird, but it's like it's a big match. They want it to happen, blah, blah, blah. Vince kept begging him. Like, they fought all the way back to the entrance. You know how they used to always just come through that octagon-looking thing, and Vince's like, get it in the ring, Brett. Brett's like, I'm going to kill you. All begging him to get in the ring. Both of them started beating up the refs. Poor Jack Doan and Tim White, I think, was the other one that got beat up. You remember those names from back then.
Yeah.
JR kept saying there's lots, like I said, lots of speculation about Brett's future and all this other stuff. Now, do you know how this match was supposed to end? Do you remember?
The run-in.
Well, yes. So it was
Run-in,
supposed to be
DQ, or double DQ.
So I had my kids stay up because they were staying up late. I was like, Noah, Nick, you got to watch this. This is the most famous match in history. So as it gets to the point where Sean pulls the ref, so Brett goes up to the top rope. Sean pulls Hebner in front of Brett. Brett hits him, knocks him out. Michaels rakes the eyes. Brett falls down. He puts on the sharpshooter. What I didn't know until I read an article on Sports Illustrated this week, I remember Sean put the sharpshooter on wrong, and then he corrected it. Like, he put the leg through, and he put the wrong leg. Like, he couldn't get the legs crossed over right. During the match, Brett told him, no, idiot, you're doing it wrong. Like, somehow Brett communicated to him, no, switch the legs or something.
He did the Scorpion Deathlock instead.
Something. Like, it didn't. And then he switched the legs, and he turns him over. So when Sean turns him over into the sharpshooter, Hebner is getting up. Hebner was supposed to stay down, knocked out. Sean was going to put the sharpshooter on. Brett, as the bell rings, Brett's reaching
Reverses
back,
it, yeah.
grabbing. He's supposed to reverse it into his own sharpshooter.
DX runs out.
Sean taps while the ref is down. DX runs out. Team Canada runs out. It's a huge brawl. DQ. Brett hands over the title the next night. The big thing was Vince. Vince trusted Brett. He didn't trust Bischoff. Because Bischoff was an a-hole back then.
Yeah.
And because Bischoff did the whole thing with Medusa. Well, hey, WWF,
Drop it in the garbage
here's your
can.
title.
Yeah.
That's how it was supposed to end. And that's why Hebner runs right out. Brett spits in Vince's face. It's just, watching it again was like I said at the beginning, this was not a good match at all. Like,
Right.
These were the two, right then, they were the two best wrestlers on the planet. Like, not even close. Like we'll never get AJ Styles versus Daniel Bryan or AJ versus CM Punk when they were both at the height of their powers. This was these two guys at their absolute best, and we got a brawl.
Yeah. That's the thing. I remember it being just more of a brawl than a wrestling match.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's just crazy.
Yeah. Boy, so what did the boys think of it? Were they just like, oh, okay?
And they were like, okay,
They just didn't really.
are we going to
grasp
bed now?
it, yeah.
Like, I'm like, you don't, like, you weren't there. I was sitting on the couch with Sean. I think we still have like the weird like red carpet back in the day then, like the purplish reddish
in
carpet.
97? Yeah, probably.
But I remember watching it, and then it ends so quickly. So Sean gets out, he gets the title, and he did a great job acting because until
He
years
acted
later,
like he had no idea.
Yeah.
That he wasn't happy about it.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, no, he was in on it.
but
Yeah.
until years later when he finally said, I knew everything. Yeah, like, yes. And it was Hunter's idea.
That was the other thing. Okay, I'm going to rewind a little bit. Excuse me. I now, not only do I have a much more
You're right, Derek. They don't have context for it.
bigger appreciation for Flair in general.
Was
I
that
don't know if that came
bro?
through. It was like a
That happened to me
internal-
one time.
It was like a reverse
Like 50
burp.
episodes ago.
Not only do I have a much bigger appreciation for Flair, I have way higher appreciation for the HBK retirement match and just
Oh, my
how
God.
big. Like, I understood at the time. I mean, I talk about it like I was 10 years old. I was like 30. Well, no, I was. Oh God,
It was
I
WrestleMania 24.
I don't want to talk about it. It was 10 years ago.
It was 10 years ago, yeah.
I remember being like, wow, okay, Flair's retired, whatever. But now, after seeing the documentary, I'm like, it's just, and in the end, he didn't really retire, but he retired from WWE, but
He should have, but
God, that was just now, like, I mean, it was already like an unbelievable match and an unbelievable finish and whatever, but now I even more so grasp like oh God.
The fact that he's sitting over there. No, Derek, I need to watch. I've heard great things about Wrestling Isn't Wrestling by Max, and I love Max. When he's been on the Game Over Greggy show, he's been hilarious, and I need to read American Alien too. I know that, but when Sean's over there tuning up the band, and he says, "I'm sorry, I love you." If you go back and you watch,
that was the best chin music he's ever delivered.
Not only that, if you look, Flair is already crying.
Oh,
I didn't
when
realize
he's, like,
that.
on his knees and he's doing this,
You can see he's
yeah.
like, I didn't think he started crying and then when he's getting pinned, you can see him just
Right.
and Sean covers him and he immediately just hugs him and grabs his head and says, I'm sorry, thank you so much, I love you. And then the next night, like, WWE will never get that good again.
Right, from just a pure emotional standpoint, no, that was peak.
Survivor Series 97. Anything else you want to add?
No, I think that's it.
What?
Just
Stupid notifications. Okay. Next up, Nate Dogg writes in and says, what is your favorite video game post-apocalyptic setting? This is going to be a real quick answer for me, and I want it to be a quick answer for you, but I want it to then segue into something that is hilarious to me. My answer, I guess, is Horizon Zero Dawn. Just because, like, I would not want to live in the Last of Us world. That would scare the hell out of me. So at least in Horizon Zero Dawn, you can override the machines and stuff and have them work for you.
But what is the question? My favorite to play in a game, or what would I want to actually be a part of and live in?
Funny you should ask that. Let's go with now we have Roman. God, don't bring up Roman Reigns. Just your favorite setting in a video game, not to live in. Not to live in. We'll get to that here in a minute.
It's depending on how you define post-apocalyptic. I basically post-apocalyptic, I picture just ruins. The obvious answer is Horizon Zero Dawn or Last of Us.
Those clickers are just ridiculous.
I mean, to me, yeah. Well, this is why I was asking. Like, where would I want to? What would I want to actually find myself in, or what is the best like game experience or whatever? If it counts, I'm gonna say. I'm looking at this from. This is a tough question. Shout out to the big Nate Dogg.
Good call, Matt Mitchell. When
Austin
fought Rock at WrestleMania 19. Yeah. That was a hell of a match.
Oh God, yeah. Way better than 17.
17 is overrated.
Chair shot.
I know the rest of the pay-per-view is amazing and Austin turned heel.
17 was probably still the best WrestleMania ever.
Yeah. WrestleMania 14's up there for me.
All right, just because you said not Last of Us.
Horizon,
I'm going to say, if it counts, Breath of the Wild. I consider that post.
Oh!
Right? Everything's in ruins. I mean,
we don't know where it is on the timeline.
That was touched rings. We got a little clink out of that.
Enslaved.
I missed.
That'll never happen again. I've heard good things about Enslaved.
I would say, I'll say Breath of the Wild.
Now, that's fun, and thanks to Nate Dogg. But really what I want to segue this into, so kind of like Derek was alluded to earlier, I miss the days of Colin. I'm a Colin fan above all else. So what I started doing, because I miss Colin, as part of Kind of Funny, I started going back to the beginning of the Game Over Greggy show and listening to the old episodes. Oh, yeah, they're empty. And then one of the old episodes... No, God, no. And then one of the episodes, they got to this question
Tiny
where...
Bums.
Oh, no, it's not Ananda.
It's not Ananda.
It's not Ananda. How would you survive the apocalypse was the question. So now I'm thinking... So basically what they turned this into was you wake up one day, and it's like that show on Fox. You're the last guy on Earth.
Okay.
Everybody has been... I guess raptured, which would mean I'm a really, really, really horrible person if everybody else is gone and I didn't get picked. But you're the last person, as far as you know, on Earth. What do you do? Okay. And my first thought, of course, is I drive to a army base and I get a tank and I just start friggin' blowing stuff up.
All right. Well, this is a loaded question.
First-
Are we taking this assuming
Well, so okay.
like this is assuming you somehow have knowledge, knowing for a fact that you are A, the last person on Earth, and B, there's not zombies or clicker. Like,
There's
you
no
know
zombies, yes.
there is no danger left
All the
out
other
there.
people are gone. I mean, there's wild animals.
Okay. But no zombies, no.
There's no
like-
zombies or
okay.
clickers. You are all
Then
of a sudden you
I'm
wake
going
up and
on,
everybody's gone.
I'm gonna drive my car to the nearest, probably we're in Memphis, so probably like Lexus dealership.
I'm
or
gonna go to
Mercedes.
Chevy.
I'm gonna get a nice
And I'm
car,
gonna get a
and then I'm gonna
Corvette,
take that
yeah.
to the nearest like Ferrari, Lamborghini dealership, and then I'm taking that.
So
I'm
here's the thing.
probably going to like DC. I'm gonna go check out the Pentagon. I want to go check out all these places, and then I'm gonna go. Well, I guess I'll have to drive because I don't know how to fly. I'm driving cross country.
Mhm.
I'm going to like, I don't even know what it would be. Beverly Hills. Say I want to go see some of these mansions. I'm gonna break in. I want to see how the
Yep.
rich and famous live.
Yep.
That's what I'm doing.
Here's the question. In this world, what I wonder first is in a world where how long does the electricity stay on? Like how automated are we right now? I think it stays on for a few years. I would think.
I think it's pretty self-sustained. Well,
I think so. But now the
Ugh.
other question is, like
I don't
you
know.
brought up the part I was thinking of is I'm going to drive to Colorado and I'm going to go from there. I'm going to stock up and then I'm going to go to
Dibs.
the West Coast. Dibs. I'm going to go because I've never been west of Texas. I'm going to go see LA. I'm going to see San Francisco. I might even go up to Oregon and stuff. And I'm going to come back. I'm going to see the Grand Canyon. I'm going to do all this. I'm going to do all this sightseeing. This is all dependent on me being like, this is the problem with this question is I have a wife and 4 kids. If they were just gone, everybody's gone, I'm just, okay. Probably is what I would probably do. I'd probably just be done with it all. But if you take that out of if you take that out of it, you still have to get gas. The only way you get gas is at gas stations, which obviously there's enough gas in the U.S. where you would never have to worry about it.
right. There's a lot of stuff
However,
you would have to do.
you need to pay for the gas, even though you're not really paying anybody because everybody's gone. Like you have to have. So I'm like, would you have to break into houses and just steal a bunch of credit cards?
You can get lost in the weeds here pretty quick.
Right.
You need to like open up the tank. You need to get some like bolt cutters or something to break the lock to open up the things. You can just like siphon out gas and
Right.
not have to depend on the electricity of the pumps, and you have to do all that stuff. So yeah, it's a loaded question, but
2 years for electricity. That's what I think. That's about it.
You know
And
where
gas
else
does go old. That's right.
you know where else I'm going? I'm either breaking into some nicer like high-end liquor stores, or I'm going
yes.
or I'm going
I'm getting
straight
some
to the
Pappy's,
stores. I'm
Kentucky.
getting some Pappy's 28, and I'm gonna just drink
I'm
some
filling
bourbon.
up the truck. I'm probably
Yes.
going to go to 4. As much as I would like to just take a Corvette, just because you
Get a
basically have the
Raptor or
Autobahn.
something.
I get a Raptor because I can fill it up. Because that's the other thing is
That's the other thing is you're stuck on North America. Unless you know how to
Yes.
fly, you're not getting to Europe.
I
like-
think that's how I would eventually just choose to end it. It's like I'm just going to go take a 747
and see if I can
land
see
it.
if I can make it across the
if I
Atlantic.
can,
see if I can
whatever.
land it.
Yeah. But the other thing you have to worry about is like if you get sick. Actually, the first thing I would do is go to Walgreens. Think about it. No. Because
Stock up on some.
pain meds and antibiotics. Like seriously, like you get an ear infection,
You're dead. You don't have
you're
doctors
dead.
anymore.
You're not dead. But like if you break your leg, but if you do, the thing that I wouldn't do is put myself in.
I wouldn't do anything. I wouldn't go bungee. I wouldn't do anything
Right.
where I could physically harm myself.
As much as I would love to go 200 miles an hour over to California, I'm like
No.
I can't because if I get in a wreck, even if I don't die, I'm going to die in a ditch. So you got to have
Right?
pain
Are
meds,
the
antibiotics.
highways just littered with cars? You may not be able to drive on the highways.
I-
Was it literally just and boom, everybody's gone?
Their
Other
cars
are all
are-
over the place. So you probably can't drive on the roads anyway.
You would probably have to think of it.
You'd have
as
to get a
everybody was
motorcycle.
raptured. You would have to get a F-150.
You'd have to get a motorcycle and just.
Well, but then I'm really going to die.
Well, yeah. That's tough. That's a good question.
But I'd go to the armory. I'd shoot lots of stuff. What I would eventually do after I did all my sightseeing, I would end up in Destin.
Man, I'm going to Cancun.
How are you going to get? Well,
There's no
The wall
cross the
hasn't been built
border.
yet.
Nobody's going to stop me.
Cancun, but I'm saying someplace warm because you can deal with warm. You wouldn't want to go settle in New York. But my point also is eventually we grew up in the country, but we're city boys. We don't hunt or do any of that. Eventually, the canned goods don't last forever. They probably have about a 3-year shelf life. I don't know that we would last 3 years in this because I don't think I could mentally deal with it for 3 years being the
I
last
think
person.
I would die before the food all went bad. I would end up dead. One way or another, I would end up dead before I ran into the issue of, well, all the preservative-filled food has gone bad.
But if you're on the ocean, you can just steal somebody's boat and you can go fish.
I don't know how to fish.
I don't either.
I mean, in theory, I know how to fish, but,
But
I'm
that's the
probably
other
not very
question.
good at it.
That's the other question. How long does the internet last? Because then I can Google, how do I gut a deer or whatever it's called? How do I eat a deer?
It
You know what I mean?
lends itself to a lot of other questions. Does the internet need people to? I mean, it's not like
Right. How long does everything just
how
last?
self-sustaining are we? Yeah.
And maybe this is what Derek's talking about. Live After People is a pretty good documentary / show. Maybe I just need to check that out.
Well, one thing that is for sure is that life finds a way.
So what I would do is I would end up in a really nice house on the beach and just live out my days there, just sitting on the beach. I would buy a 100-inch. I'd go take a 100-inch TV, and I would just play video games for as long as they lasted. I'd catch up on all the Gears of War games that I never played.
So basically, you play video games until you just die.
died.
Are there dead bodies everywhere? Did everybody just die?
No,
or they
everybody's
just disappeared?
they disappeared.
Okay, well that's
Otherwise, if there's dead bodies
just
everywhere, then
smell
I'm
really
just
bad.
done. I'm
Yeah.
out.
okay.
No, they just disappeared. So I would end up on the beach, 100-inch TV. I'd buy. What I keep saying buy. I'd get 3 or 4 fridges and freezers. I'd line them all up so that as long as the electricity lasts, stuff stays cold. Oh, I'd stock up on every IPA I could find because they're only going to stay good for maybe a year. I mean, they expire before that, but they'd still be
Here's the
drinkable.
thing. Okay.
Lots of
let
bourbon.
me
Lots
present
of
this
bourbon
to
and
you.
wine.
If you are the only person alive, is there? I'm trying to think of a way to say this without coming off as an alcoholic. Would you still feel the need to get drunk?
Just to get through every day, yes. I would have to forget, yes.
Like if you're the only person, I feel like your inhibitions go away anyway. Do you really need to be drunk anymore?
Yes, because if you're not, you're too aware that you are the only person on this planet.
I guess.
I'd get lots of bottled water.
This is a
and
real
foods.
deep question.
But I don't know. I think it'd be interesting. It's not any thing I would ever like to experience. That's for sure. But
That is for sure.
yeah, sightseeing and then I'd end up on the beach.
I like it.
I guess is how I would
Sounds
say
good to me. Dibs.
it. Dibs. Dibs on the apocalypse. All right, we got 2 more questions here. Jason, friend of the show, writes in and says, basically, what is your favorite game from a genre that you don't like?
I think that's what you're asking. If not, feel the need to clarify now. In the meantime, we're going to go
Oh,
ahead and
Colony
answer
was
that.
good. I watched the first episode, and then I stopped. But it looked super cool with the guy from Lost. What I came up with for this question, so favorite game from a genre we typically do not like. This was a stretch for me, but I'm going to say Severed. Touchscreen game.
Okay.
Touch controls. Everything is touch except up, down, left, and right.
Okay, that's the question.
Awesome. So, not that. Well, never mind. Eric. I don't know what you're talking- I thought that was with the guy from Lost. Wasn't it called
No,
Colony?
he's talking about a reality
Oh, it's
show.
a reality show. I forgot the reality part. Never mind. Severed. I hate touch controls. I hate touchscreen controls in games. I hate mobile games. And Severed didn't start out as a mobile game, but you know what I mean, like touchscreen based controls. Severed on the Vita, and now it's on the Switch. If you got a Switch, just play the game. It's amazing.
It is. I can vouch for that.
Severed fits this. At first, I was thinking, I mean, I can cheat and call Horizon Zero Dawn an RPG because I don't play
Yeah, it's
RPGs,
not.
but it's not. I mean, it's an action adventure game with RPG elements. So my answer is Severed. Just such a fantastic game. My favorite Vita game ever made, for sure.
I mean, for me, if there's a genre that in general, I'm painting with a very broad brush here, but if there's a genre I don't like, it's first-person shooters.
Mm-hmm.
And I touched on this a little earlier when I said we'll touch on this later. I'm going back. I'm saying, like, I mean, I think of this more as a single-player game because that's 99% of my experience with it. Rainbow Six, the original, I'm saying just Rainbow Six on the PC.
No colon.
No colon.
Your poop doesn't form.
I've had not a colonoscopy. What would that be? A colonectomy? I don't think that's a thing. No colon. Rainbow Six, colon, no colon. I'm thinking Rainbow Six, and then I'm even thinking beyond that to what I think of as actual first-person shooters these days is multiplayer games. I'm looking at, Jason, help me out here. I'm looking at Battlefield 1942, Wolfenstein. What was the Wolfenstein? Jason, we just talked about this while you were here. Wolfenstein.
Wolfenstein?
Enemy Territory. I just spit a little bit. I'm thinking, I've already touched on all this, but I'm thinking first-person shooters, multiplayer, but I'm thinking back to the days of playing just with my friends and not just playing online with random people. Like, I get zero joy out of that. LAN party. Okay. I'm thinking that's Battlefield 1942.
Jason got it.
Wolf E.T., those kinds of games. I can't think of a single genre that I just do not like. And the closest thing would be first-person shooters.
Yeah.
And of those, the only time I really, really enjoyed them, I mean, I could go back even further. I mean, I enjoyed like Quake and Doom and Duke Nukem.
Yes.
Basically, before first-person shooters became so multiplayer. Yeah, just multiplayer only, basically. But even then, I liked the multiplayer aspect of them when we were doing our LAN parties and playing with friends. Everybody come to the garage. Everybody, let's somehow, through the magic of whatever, plug our computers in together and we'll all play together. I can't pick a single game, but it was those days of just LAN parties and playing first-person shooters back then. First-person shooters today, I want nothing to do with, because when I play with the general populace, and even when I played in the LAN parties, I tended to suck. But when I just play online with strangers, I'm getting my butt kicked, and it's just not even fun. But it would at least be fun if you were kicking my butt.
If we were just playing one-on-one, and I was like, my kill death ratio was 1 to 10. I'd be having fun if I was playing with you and our friends.
But when I'm just playing with random people online, and it's just, I picture I'm playing somebody like Bob Mackey, like living in his mom's basement. Like, I just like, this isn't fun. I don't like that I'm getting destroyed by this person who I don't even know. Like, it's just not fun. Those games, if you ask me, were at their best when it was confined to like local multiplayer only. And so, yeah, if I'm picking, I can't pick a single game, but there's your handful of games from a genre that for the most part I guess I wouldn't say I despise, but I just don't really care about anymore.
Yeah. My favorite first-person shooter game is still Black Ops 1. Because the story was the best story they've ever done in a Call of Duty game.
See, I never played that.
It's so good. And it's a short campaign, 7-8 hours, but like they tie into the Kennedy assassination and stuff, and it's just so well done.
Right.
Yeah, that's the other thing. You got 12-year-olds calling you racist slurs and stuff.
Well, yeah.
And the last question comes from our buddy Logan.
Get your questions in now. Anybody in the chat, if you haven't yet, go ahead and do it, because this is our last question.
Where do we see ourselves a year from now? Is essentially it. So we've been doing this for almost 2 years. We put up our first audio podcast the first week of December. We started on YouTube July of 2016, and here we sit mid-November 2017, our 100th episode. And we've done 69 on YouTube.
Nice.
No, 70. Was that episode? No, it was 31. It was 31. So 69 episodes on YouTube because I wore the Jason Sehorn the first one. Where do we see ourselves in a year? So the cop-out answer is I don't know. I would love to say a year from now we're over 1,000 subs and we've grown the channel and we've evolved the channel and everything. I guess that's the only... I don't know what the channel looks like a year from now. Yes, we will celebrate the 1-year anniversary of Logan asking us about where we would be a year from a year ago. I like that, Derek. Thank you. So I do see us evolving. We've had some talks about where we go after the first year, and also so we're going to be taking off the next couple of weeks, next 2 or 3 weeks. Sean's going on his honeymoon.
Peace out.
He's going to be on
I'm
a
gonna
ship
be living it up
in the
in a suite on a boat
in
with
the
my
Caribbean.
wife in the middle of the Caribbean
Caribbean
queen
And you say the same
with
thing.
unlimited alcohol,
Really?
unlimited food. Oh yeah, we got the
You got the package, okay.
We're living it up for these 11 days.
So we're going to be off for the next 2 or 3 weeks, but then we're going to come back and maybe do our game of the year right then. We might wait another week. We'll see. But we're going to be off for the next few weeks, so just know that. We'll tweet it out and everything. But we've had some talks about what we do going forward, and I don't think we really – I don't think we know. Other than the channel is going to evolve is what I will definitely say. Jason asked a great question. How long do you guys think you can sustain this podcast?
Like this podcast?
No, I don't think he means episode 100.
No, but I mean the podcast
Two-Player
as we
Co-op
know it
podcast,
today.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. The answer is I don't know. It is, like we said in the beginning, one of the things we've learned is this
It's
is
a lot
tough.
of work.
This is our hobby. This is our therapy, kind of, I would say, when we get together every week and just shoot the poop and talk and everything. But, like, it's tough. I mean, with especially me being a dad with a wife also, not a single dad. Shout out to Jess, love you. But a dad with 4 kids and a full-time job and kids sports and gymnastics and, like, just everything. It's tough to keep this going. I think we're definitely going to evolve is all I can say. My hope is that, a year from now we're at 1,000 subs. I would love that. Or 2,000.
Well, a year ago we were only at 100.
A year ago we were at 100, and shout out to April and your sorority. We got like 35.
Really, we were
from
at
her
about
sorority.
85 or 90.
Yeah. No, we were probably at 70. 75.
She didn't get us.
She got us about 20, I think, from all her sorority friends. How many episodes have they watched? 0. If they're watching
know if it
this,
was that many,
shout out to Alpha Gam. Go Squirrels.
Squirrels.
But, I mean, like, we've seen our biggest jumps in viewership and subscribers when we talked about Colin and when we talked about Bob Mackey. Derek, if there was an E! True Hollywood Story is for YouTube, would you get an episode? Based off the Bob Mackey episode alone, we probably would.
You know where I thought this was going, and I kind of wish it had? I thought that was going, like, if there's an E... I don't even know.
Who would play you?
Yes, that's where I thought that was going.
I know who would play you, Sean.
And
who
then
would
I
it
got
be?
to the end, and I was like, oh, crap. Well,
Sean, who would play you?
Christian Bale would play me.
Obviously. Anyways, Batman. I'm Batman. Because I'm Batman.
All right, I'm going to crowdsource this. Obviously, Christian Bale would play me because he looks exactly like me. We'll crowdsource it. Who would play Kevin? Let us know in the chat.
It's
Continue.
It's Elijah Wood.
It would
I'm
be
taller
Elijah
than him,
Wood,
but I look like Elijah Wood. Anyways, Jess also used to think I look like Pacey.
Or Brad Paisley.
Yeah, and if I had a hat
Supposedly.
on, you'd be able to see it.
Wait, who did you say? Jess said you look like who?
Pacey from Dawson's Creek.
Oh, Joe.
No. Starts with a J, though, but I don't remember what it was.
Joel. Or Joe. Joe. I don't know who you're
Schmo.
talking about. I'll look it up.
Yeah. Josh Jackson.
There you go. Double J.
Double J, Josh Jackson. But,
What?
From
I'm
the
not that
Machinist.
skinny.
Thank you, Derek. Thank you.
I'm skinny. I'm not that skinny.
But, like, so Derek, I'm pretty sure Derek found us after...
And it was around Bob Mackey or
No,
it may have been
Colin.
the Colin.
This was Colin leaving
The
kind
Colin
of funny.
leaving
And, like,
Kinda
we
Funny.
gained a lot of subs and we got a lot of views from that. But I didn't Like
we didn't want to be
about,
just about that.
we
We didn't want to
talked
be the
about-
Colin Moriarty podcast.
we talked about the Colin breakup for 3 episodes in a row, and they each got over 1,000 views, and that was awesome. But I was like, we can't. We're a video game podcast. We're not an
Right.
internet drama podcast. And I love Colin. I'm glad he's doing well, and I'm glad he's
and he's
coming
getting back
to
into
games.
Yeah.
But like, so we could just do Colin episodes and Bob Mackey episodes and get thousands of views and just. But it's not like what we want to talk about video games and hang out and do all that. So, what is the noise?
That's the fridge.
Oh,
It's not. I'm not that skinny.
you're pretty skinny. You're not Batman.
I mean, I'm closer to machinist Christian Bale than Batman Christian Bale, but
Yes.
I got
Well, that was weird.
my belly.
That's weird. I know. I didn't think it was there.
It's there.
So, where do you see us a year from now?
Ugh. A year from now,
Like evolve. We're gonna be like Pokemon, and we're gonna be like those Pokemans, and we're gonna evolve.
here's the thing. A year from now, I mean, I'm not setting anything in stone, but there's a good chance a year from now I will either have
Welcome to the club.
a baby or B, a real pregnant wife. And getting out of the house for hours a week is going to be more and more difficult, let alone the post-processing and all that stuff. Like I said, this is kind of what I touched on earlier, but I don't know how you people, I don't know, this may not apply to anybody in the chat, but anybody that happens to be watching right now, if you do this for a living, basically if you are kind of funny or, I mean, to a lesser extent, irrational passions, I mean, I don't know what Logan and
I don't think
Alex
they're even making
and-
any money off.
That's what I'm saying.
That's why
like,
I respect the hell out of Alex and George and Roger and Logan and all those guys. I'm gonna forget. And Trevor.
like if you're doing this and you're making money, great. If you're doing this not making money or not making much money to where you actually need a job to make real money, I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you provide enough content regularly enough while still living your normal off-camera day-to-day life. I don't know how you do it.
I agree.
I have no idea. Literally, I don't even know how you do it. I
don't
can
know
barely
how I do
handle.
Doing the podcast a week. I know.
Yes, like
I know.
I
need to get you doing the Let's Plays.
I don't
That's
know.
when it's really fun.
yeah.
When you got to edit out the black space to make sure it stays synced and.
Cause I got a black.
No, I
space,
said black, not blank.
baby.
Don't you do Taylor?
And I'll write your name.
He'll never do Taylor.
Dibs.
No. You're. God rest your soul.
Anti-dibs.
Good save. So we will. This channel will still be here in a year. I think
We're not. Basically, bottom line is we're not disappearing.
right.
We'll we are gonna kind of disappear. We'll still do Mario Mondays every week for the
Yes.
next 4.
Yes. We just recorded
Mondays.
Worlds 5 and 6, and dear God Almighty,
But
this
there-
game is more difficult than I remember.
It
but
is very
yeah.
difficult. But there will not be podcasts for the next couple of
2 or 3.
Well, no, we will have.
We'll have the
Are
Justice
we
League.
recording this weekend? On podcast?
This
or
is
just
for next
Justice
week.
League?
This is episode 100. This is going to go up live
It'll
on
post
Wednesday.
like tomorrow. Yeah, in a couple days.
On Wednesday, yeah. And then Justice League will go up Friday. Or
But are we
early
recording
Saturday.
episode 101 next weekend?
I don't think so. No.
Okay.
Well, you're
So
gonna,
we will
no,
disappear
You're gonna be,
for
you need to go. You need to pack, right,
1,
Brittany?
2. So we're going to take 3 weeks off.
We're probably taking 3 weeks off.
So we're going to disappear for 3 weeks.
Other than Mario Mondays.
Other than
they'll still
Mario
be here.
Mondays and a Justice League review when we tell you about how mediocre the movie was. I'm just kidding. I truly hope it's good. But other than that, yeah, we're going to be gone. We'll be back early to mid-December.
Early December, I'd say, yeah.
But then Christmas is coming up. I mean, then we're going to be we'll be back, but then there's going to be another couple week hiatus.
Yes.
But in the meantime, we'll do our
We'll do Game
top
of the Year.
5, top 10 of the year, whatever. We'll do
Damn it,
that kind of stuff.
Derek, Justice League does not look like hot garbage.
I wouldn't go that far.
Don't.
I mean,
Do it.
The previews look like it's going to be good. We'll see. But anyway, yeah, we're going to disappear for a few weeks outside of Mario Mondays and Justice League review. We'll be back. We'll do our game of the year. We'll probably do another podcast here and there. Really, at the beginning of the years where we need to really think about what the future of two-player co-op is.
I would say look for news in the coming month plus is what I would say.
We'll have more information to come, but it's
I
like we
wouldn't
said,
trade.
it's a lot of work. It's
I would not trade these 100 episodes
no
and all these Let's Plays
absolutely.
and Friday shows and quick hits that were never quick hits. I wouldn't trade it for anything. I don't regret anything we've done. I do think the podcast and the channel will be different in 2018.
It will
going
live
forward.
on. We're not going to disappear.
Right. But
And
it will
I know
be different.
the way
I would
we're
say.
talking about it makes it sound like a goodbye. It's not that at all.
No.
We're not going away, but I don't think we're going to be able to deliver as much just every single week content as we have been.
Yeah.
That being said, our weekly content for the most part is, hey, what have you been playing? What have I been playing? Here's the news of the week, which you've probably already heard. Like, in the end, I don't think you guys will be, unless you just love hearing us talk, you guys aren't, hey, Nick's back.
It is a ton of work. Thank you, Nick.
But yeah, bottom line is we're not going anywhere. Two-player co-op will continue to exist, but it's probably not going to be a every single week, multiple videos a week kind of thing.
Yeah. More details to come.
Yeah.
That's all we'll say. Yeah. We're
But that
evolve,
being said,
like the Pokemans.
To take nothing away from the last 100 episodes, it's been a blast doing this. We've made it longer and we've gotten bigger than I ever thought we would get. We've met some fantastic people, and hopefully again, I don't want this to sound like a goodbye. Hopefully we continue to meet more people, but the people we've met are awesome. It's been fantastic. We hope we continue to meet more people and continue to give you good content in the weeks to follow, but it will be different, but we'll see where we go from here.
And the last question, we got one late entry. Jason asked, what podcast do we follow? Sean's not a big podcast guy. I follow the Two-Player Co-op podcast.
That's a fantastic one.
A Link to Our Past. Shout out to John Bernardo and the work he's doing over there. Colin's Last Stand, although I don't, as much as I love Colin, I don't listen to all those podcasts. I just listen to the ones that interest me. Game Scoop, one of probably my favorite video game podcasts that there is. They do the 20 questions. I love Damon. I don't really like Justin Davis, but I like him on the podcast. Sam Claiborne's always on there. It's great. The Kind of Funny Games deal, it's not what I would ask for. The Gamescast, the Kind of Funny Gamescast, I listen to it when it's something I want to hear about, which unfortunately isn't as much as it used to be. I've started listening to the Nintendo Voice Chat more. IGN's Nintendo podcast that they do. Since I love my Switch so much, and I've loved Mario and I've loved Zelda, Altano's on it every week. Zach Ryan, who's becoming one of my favorite IGN guys. I love that dude. He's on it every week with Pear. I mean, the CEO, the president of IGN,
Right.
hosts Nintendo Voice Chat, and he's from Germany. He's always loved Nintendo. It's so cool. The Bill Simmons podcast, obviously, because I love Simmons. Giant Bomb. I haven't really listened to Giant Bomb that much. Their podcasts are so long. That's the only thing that kind of turns me off. I listen to Podcast Beyond. The Comedy Button, my God. Altano and Max and Ryan Scott and Scott Bromley, those guys are they're so stupid, but they're so hilarious. Like if we had an unfiltered, stupid podcast, it would probably be similar to the Comedy Button. Go listen to the Comedy Button if you don't. And what really hurts me is I don't really listen to the Game Over Greggy show anymore.
Yeah.
Which sucks. I mean, I listened to their 200th episode, which is weird that they've only done 100 more than us. Seems like that's just
it
weird.
seems like it should be at 1,000, but
they had Max Landis on for that, and that was fun. They just all got drunk and had fun. But I'm like, they keep having all these guests that I get. They pay for it on Patreon and all this other stuff. But one thing that I really do not like is Rooster Teeth, and they just keep having all the Rooster Teeth people on.
Now, I will say, and I know you don't disagree, we both love us some Andy Cortez.
Andy is my dude. He's from Texas.
He's awesome, but
he's still no Colin.
He's not. He's the rest of them, basically. You replaced 3 and 1. You replaced that with 4, unfortunately. I do love Andy Cortez. I think he's awesome. I think he's a great addition. But whereas before you had 3 people who think this and 1 person who thinks this, now you have 4 people who think this. it's kind of a bummer. I love Colin. As Kevin said, I used to love Colin's Last Stand. I wish nothing but the best for Colin, but in the end, it's just I thought I was going to like that a lot more than I do. I guess I just don't really. I actually kind of like the history stuff he does. But he hasn't. It's been more just talking about politics.
Well, it's probably because politics is so depressing right now. No matter what
that,
side of the aisle
that's
you're
the
on.
thing. Like, I need an escape from politics. Like, I don't want to go out of my way to listen to more stuff about politics.
Like every time I go over to mom and dad's house and CNN's on, I'm like, I can't. It's just depressing.
Right.
Or somebody in Hollywood is doing something else, and I don't want my kids to hear this. I'm like, let's ESPN, please, and then that's politics too.
Yep.
So there's a podcast I follow.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really listen to a whole lot of podcasts. It's tough because where I work, it's like I basically just work in a big room with my other coworkers. Like, I have a desk. I don't even sit there anymore. I just sit in a big room with my other coworkers. So if I try to listen to something like long term, like more than about 5 minutes, I've got people trying to talk to me, and then I have to like pause and what did you say? And then it's just okay. And then I can't listen to anything long term now. I just can't. And then I have like a 30-minute drive to and from work, but it's like I can't get into it. I used to listen to Bill Simmons every day.
The Bill Simmons podcast I will never not listen to is the Guess the Lines every Monday with Cousin Sal.
Cousin Sal.
The other ones he does where you got like a Vanity Fair editor. I'm like, I don't care.
Yeah,
Delete automatically.
Exactly.
But whenever it's him and Cousin Sal, or if Jacko's ever on talking about my Yankees, I'll listen to it every time. And Derek makes a good point. I assume you're talking about Colin, where he said in the chat that Colin has nobody to work off of. Colin is at his best when he's not just talking to himself. It's when he's because Colin, no matter what people think about him, yes, he has his views, but he was always open to listening to the other side and engaging in an honest and open debate, which kind of funny doesn't have that anymore. It's just all groupthink, and we all think the same way, so they don't
echo chamber.
There's nobody there. There's no serious and like when they tried to talk about serious conversations a few weeks ago when Harvey Weinstein and all that came out, it was just like all the comments were like, "You guys do not know what you're talking about." Like everything is like, "Well, I'm sorry if I said this," and I'm like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean that," and just, well, this, and it's just not. It's not the same. I love Nick Scarpino. I've never Tim. I don't know. Greg, I don't know. I don't know about Greg. Like, still my most liked tweet ever was the one after he put out the statement about Colin, and I said, this statement's dumb. You should have stood by him. And I got almost 3,000 likes down. They still keep coming in every once in a while. They'll pop up. Like, I lived and breathed Kind of Funny for so long, and then that happened. And I've really never gotten over it. I know a lot of people have. Like I know Logan was saying in the chat how much he loves the relaunch and everything. I like parts of it. I like that they're doing the daily video game podcast, the news thing, which we would do if we ever won Powerball. It would be like PTI. I've already got it all planned out. I love that. But it's like I just don't. There's something missing, and obviously it's Colin that's missing. But not
it's
just
a different
that.
voice. Not
it's not even just that Colin's missing. It's just like it's just not. It doesn't. It's not the same. I don't know how to put it into words, but it's just not the same.
It's basically now, and I don't even really listen much anymore, so I don't want to. I apologize if I'm incorrect here. But the way I look at it now, it's I think this. I agree. I agree. I agree. Well, I also think this. I agree. I agree. I agree. And it's like, okay, we get it. Like, we don't need four of you. It's just, it's not the same. Bottom line is it's not the same. And it's sad, and things change, but.
I like that, Derek. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Again, like I love, like, but the
funny thing is, like, we wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for Kind of Funny. Damn, I tried to clink. Let's do one more time.
There it is.
We wouldn't be here. We wouldn't be doing this if it weren't for Kind of Funny. Yeah. Like, I didn't even really get too into Kind of Funny until we started doing this, and I got into them through you. Like, I'd heard of them, but I never really. I'm just not a big podcast guy in general. But I'm like, okay, well, now that we're doing this, I kind of want to hear what other people have to say and whatever. But I think it's safe to say we wouldn't be doing this today if it weren't for Kind of Funny. And
No
now
way.
I've gotten to the point where I can live without it. I don't know.
Yeah. Like Colin and Greg, not even before Kind of Funny. Like I was listening to Podcast Beyond before I ever found the Game Over Greggy show because I loved hearing Colin and Greg talk about video games. But then when they formed Kind of Funny and the whole thing was just, and Brian Altano talks about this a lot too, is just if you've got a passion, go for it. Do what you love. It doesn't matter if you get thousands of downloads or if you get 10 downloads. It doesn't matter. You're doing what you love and all this other stuff. And they inspired us to do this. And that's why we've done 100 episodes of this, plus Let's Plays and Friday shows and all the other stuff. But like and Nick and Derek are echoing our comments, so that makes me feel good. But as much as I've kind of been removed from Kind of Funny for the last 6 months or so, like Sean said, like we both it's like our wavelengths just started talking. It was like, we would not be sitting here talking to you if Kind of Funny did not exist. 100%.
Yep.
Amen.
Amen.
All right. Now it's time for everybody's favorite part of the podcast. It's that time of the week, Sean, when we play the It's the Back of the Box Challenge. That was pretty damn good. If you didn't know, the Back Box Challenge is how we end the podcast here every week on the Two-Player Co-op podcast. What this game is we get together and we look at the back of a retail box, turn that joker around, read the back of the box to the other player, and offline.
What's that? I don't like that. Dang it.
Then the other player... We're back online. Okay. Then the other player gets to ask some follow-up questions.
We're back.
So, yeah, we went offline. If we went offline, we're back. If you're watching on video demand, you're like, what are these idiots talking about? Anyways, the other player gets to ask some follow-up questions, and they try to figure out what the back box challenge is. Never mind. They try to figure out the game. I'm off my game now.
If you're watching us now, you already know what this back of the box is. So
if you don't know...
Now you know. Well, you don't know.
You don't know, but
you
now
should have known.
I guess you know. You want me to read first?
Yeah.
I think... Okay. 9... Huge, in capital letters, warriors battle for the right to face the blank and win the supreme prize, the life that fate stole. Kick, punch, and smash through friends and foes alike in this punishing 32-player tournament.
Is it a fighting game?
Yes.
Is it a...
Did you see my screen?
No.
Okay.
Would I think of this as an arcade game?
No.
So more of a console game.
Yes.
Post January 1st, 2000?
No.
Oh.
Oh my.
Oh my. Okay.
And Nick, to your comment, I'm not removed from them. I still watch Kind of Funny. I'm still subscribed and everything. Parappa the Rapper. I'm still subscribed and everything. It's just not as much of their stuff speaks to me anymore, I guess is what I should say.
All right, so it's a fighting game. I would think of it. Okay, was this released on a console?
Yes.
But, okay. Okay. Have we played this on a console?
Yes.
Did we own it on a console?
Yes.
Genesis?
Yes.
Okay. 9. Is it Deadly Moves?
No.
But it's Genesis and we owned it, but I would... Oh, wait, yeah, you said I would think of it as an arcade game.
I said you would not.
Oh.
It did not come out in arcades. I told you.
Okay. Then
Oh
I misheard.
my.
Oh my. Okay, so we own this. Do we own this game on Genesis?
Yes.
And it is not an arcade game, or we just wouldn't think
It
of
was not an arcade game.
Is it Deadly Moves?
No, I already said that.
I couldn't remember what I had.
This is harder than I thought it was going to be. That's what she said.
A fighting game that we own. We own. Oh.
Right.
Could you kill your competitor
Yes.
using stage fatalities?
Nick's got it right. Toe Jam
Toe
and
Jam
Earl.
and Earl.
Damn it,
Derek's
Derek.
got it. Yeah.
Derek got it.
Eternal
Yes.
Champions.
Eternal Champions.
Oh God! And
Shout
then the
out to you,
sequel
Derek.
was
Good
only
job.
Sega CD, right?
It wasn't even. It was the same game. It was
Oh.
still just called Eternal Champions. I think they added a couple more fighters on Sega CD, and they had more
Wasn't
overkills.
an actual sequel.
No, they had more overkills, but it was still Eternal Champions.
All I remember is Blade.
Was that the spacey black guy with the
He had like
LeVar
the
Burton
Star
thing?
Trek.
Yeah.
And then
That guy right
Trident. Yeah, that guy.
Yeah.
Trident.
Yep. Who had a trident for an arm?
And then
I like
Shadow, the girl.
I like the guy that was like Dick Tracy with the trench coat and the hat. I don't
Oh,
remember
he
what
had the
his name was.
drive-by like stage fatality. And then there was the girl, I think it was Shadow, who everybody had a story about how they died, right?
Yes.
And that was like what their stage
It was just trying
fatality
to get
was.
back to life. Yeah, she was burned at the stake. Was
No,
her?
that was Xavier.
Yes.
The wizard warlock looking guy. Shadow, I think she fell off a building.
Oh, where you get electrocuted?
But I think her stage fatality was you just get electrocuted on
Yeah,
the sign.
on the
But I think
sign.
she died by falling off the building. Oh God. Do you have that on the Pi?
Yeah,
We should have played that
we
last
should
night.
have played.
We
it last night.
totally missed
But
that.
I didn't. I purposely did not because I didn't want to tip you off to what my game was going to be.
Oh God. Okay.
Shout out to
now-
Derek. Good
now
job,
I want to
dude.
play that. That's awesome. We got a Sega.
Sega.
I meant to say we have a fellow Sega fan.
You know what is
In
so
our
weird?
midst.
That on the Sonic's Classic Genesis collection, and the PS3 and the 360, Eternal Champions was not on that. I know it's not a great game, but it's really the only
But
Sega fighting game they ever made. I cannot
exclusive
believe it's not on
Sega-
that. Yeah. That is crazy to me
Yeah,
that it's
that's
not
true.
on there.
All right. It's Blank Madness.
March.
They're back stronger than ever, and they want revenge. With a new mysterious leader, they plan to dominate the entire world. This time, they've kidnapped Blank and his daughter Blank.
Is this a Capcom game?
Yes.
Is it the last fight? Is it one of that series? Oh my god. Is it the third in the series?
Nope.
Is it the second?
Yep.
Final Fight 2!
How the heck?
The chat didn't even catch up. Read it again.
It's Mad Gear Madness.
I think maybe it was the madness. I heard mad and I thought
They're
Mad
back
Gear.
stronger than ever, and they want revenge. With a new mysterious leader, they want. This time, they've kidnapped.
See, Kidnap makes me think of like an old school like Double Dragon or some kind of beat 'em up like that is what makes me think of it.
They've kidnapped Genryusai. Genryusi? I don't know how you say it. Do you know who?
Oh, you're way. I have no idea.
Oh, and his daughter Rena. Now Hagar must travel around the world to search for Genryusei and Rena, but he's not going alone. Carlos and Rena's sister Maki are joining.
Maki.
Yada 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 yada. Okay. Well, crap.
So we had our game night last night. We were playing on the Pi, perfectly legal because we owned all these games at one time, and we went through Final Fight 2 and it was not good. Then we played Final
Terrible.
Fight 3, also not
Also
good.
not good.
And we also said so if you've been with us from the beginning, we did a whole Let's Play series. We played through Streets of Rage 1, 2, and 3. We did Let's Plays of all of them. And our one complaint with Streets of Rage 3 is it's one of those games that is just the difficulty is artificially
Yes.
bumped up to the highest level just to make the game harder just because. We played Bare Knuckle 3, and it is what Streets of Rage 3 should have been. So if you don't know, Bare Knuckle is Streets of Rage. Good night, Nick. It's Streets of Rage in Japan. This is a normal difficulty level. It was like Streets of Rage 2 difficulty with Streets of Rage 3
Right. We
mechanics
still
and
had to
everything.
continue a couple times,
Yeah.
but
But it was fun, and we played through all 7
Right.
stages. We beat the game. It was so much fun. Streets of Rage is definitely, we can now say for sure, it's a better series than Final Fight.
I would not have thought so just because I think I've only played Final Fight 1, and
Yeah.
I assumed that the sequels were
Better.
of an
Or at least
equal
as good.
quality, if not better. Yeah, and they're not.
They're just not.
Granted, we only played them for about 5 minutes, but I just assumed it was all Cody, Hagar, and Guy.
Yeah.
Not that Streets of Rage. I mean, Streets of Rage wasn't always Axel, Blaze, and Adam, but like, it's just the other Final Fight games were not what.
Have a
I
good
thought
night,
they
Derek.
were.
Thanks for being here, dude.
Good night, Derek.
Seriously, appreciate it, dude.
Yeah, I think I can say unbiased. Streets of Rage better series than Final Fight.
I agree.
I wouldn't have thought that was true, but I just kind of assumed that it wasn't. But now that I've actually played them and played what Streets of Rage should have been, Streets of Rage 3 should have been, no, Streets of Rage is better.
I agree. That was fun. All right, guys, that's been episode 100, which is just incredible and crazy to say. Episode 100 of the Two Player Co-op Podcast. Thank you all so much for being here. Thank you guys so much for getting us to 500 subs. Seriously, we really appreciate it. Again, just remember, we will be off for the next few weeks. Other than our Justice League review and the Mario Mondays are going to continue. We'll see if we do anything after Mario 3. Mario 3 is more difficult than I remember. I know I said that earlier,
sure
but
is.
Man, we're gonna truck through it. We still got to record 7 and 8. We got through 5 and 6, so you've got 4 coming up tomorrow or a few days ago as you're watching this. If you're not watching it live, then we got 5 and 6, and then 7 and 8 after that because that's how math works. So check that out. If you didn't know, we are part of the Nerd 901 family. Shout out to Nick Shafani for being here for most of the night. We are part of the Nerd 901 family, so go to nerd901.com for all things nerdy in Memphis and around the globe. Again, check out Pixels and Papers. Check out Ernie's own channel, Blurred Without Fear. He's blowing up over there. He's about to just smoke us when it comes to subs and views. He's doing great out there. Seriously, search for Blurred Without Fear if you care about comic books and comic book movies and everything else. Check him out. He's doing an awesome job. Obviously, you can find us on Twitter. I'm at Kevin White 24. He's at Real Sean White. Together, we're at 2player_co-op. YouTube. Obviously, you guys are watching us on YouTube. Thank you so much for being here. If you're not subscribed yet, go to youtube.com/2playercoop. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the like button. Share the video with your friends and family. Spread the word. We really appreciate it. If you like audio, which I know Sean likes audio, right, Sean?
I love audio.
You can find us on iTunes, SoundCloud, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, and audio services all around the globe. And, of course, we got a Facebook page that we never update at facebook.com/2playercoop gaming. So go there and see all the stuff that we get tagged in by Nerd 901, who actually does their job when we don't. Oh, you need a pen. Brittany, pen.
You have a pen? Throw me a pen.
I'll stall. So, yeah, this has been 100 episodes. Oh, it's going to go in your eye.
Bam.
That should count.
I should just stop right there.
That should just count. But, yeah, this has been 100 episodes. We'll be off for a few weeks from the podcast, but when we come back, we'll be back.
Okay, here it comes.
And I wasn't on camera, but we know you caught it.
Still counts.
That was awesome. So this has been 100 episodes of the Two Player Co-op Podcast. Thank you guys so much for being here. And until the next time, Sean, go ahead and take us out.
Thank you for playing. I tried to throw it extra high because I had the extra.
You had the extras. You had the extra height. Let's just see with this. And yeah, not even. And boom, not even on camera. Hey, episode 100. Thanks you guys so much for being here. Sean, do the snap.
I already said that. Bye-bye.
That's it. Whoever's still on
whoever's
YouTube,
left, thanks for hanging out. We
thank you guys so
appreciate
much for being here. This has been fun. Thank you guys for submitting questions. It was a lot of fun. Like I said, stay tuned to the channel. We're going to be off from the podcast for a few weeks while Sean is just slumming it in the Caribbean.
Living it up.
But we'll be back. Look for our Suicide Squad. I mean, what? Look for our Justice League review. I really hope I'm not disappointed. If I am, then I just quit life. So, yeah. And Mario Mondays and all that other stuff. Thank you guys so much for hanging out in the chat. And we'll see you next time. We're going to sign off now, but I don't know where your mouse is.
That's right here.
It's right there. All right.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
Thank you.